One shall stand, and one shall fall.
Yeah. New kids on the block, we here making it pop. Don't care if you like it or not. The spot we want is the top. The head nerds in charge and I foresee to making things happen. If you think you heard what you thought you heard, go ahead and play that thing back. Coming out the speakers in the car in the man cave. The mother bus is about to be knocked off the airwaves. So be very afraid. Better check your gameplay. Sitting on all that and finna take away your fan base. The stage is set. Better put respect up on our name. What you get right now, you get it later. A consistent game, a steady dosage. Once you started, you can't get enough. The people's chant ain't a topic we ain't finna touch. So bring your A game, cause the boys behind the mic finna do the same thing. One time for the one time, let it off like bang bang. We aiming to be the greatest, we accepting any challenge. With a snap of the finger, bringing balance, let's make it happen. You tuned in to the place to be. You tuned in to HNIC.
Head nerds in charge.
You tuned in to the place to be. You tuned in to HNIC.
Forget about the way it used to be. This is not a damn democracy. We are in a state of emergency, and my word is law. There's only one boss in this place, and that's me. The HNIC.
Way down deep in the jungle. Signified Monkey's uncle. Yo, what it do? Is King Kurt Live. We're back again. Wednesdays 8 to 10 p.m. As always on your block. It's the head nerds in charge. We got Don the Magic Wand on the wheels and steals, the ones and twos, keeping the stream locked for you wonderful, beautiful people. And we got some special guests in the building all the way down south. I mean deep south. Delaware South. And we're going to get ready to introduce them. But of course, I have two lovely ladies to the left of me and let them introduce themselves.
Oh, I'm sorry. Joseph, stop distracting me with your comments and whatnot. I was trying to respond back to Joseph.
That's what it was?
Yes.
All right. Joe, stop messing with her.
Yeah. Anyway, Yo Kai Sassy here again as usual with my new look. My favorite look, actually.
What is this, the Hogwarts special?
No, it's not the Hogwarts.
I'm just saying, you look like you belong in Hogwarts. Isn't that like this? Isn't that like the Hogwarts uniform?
I'm not a
It's
Harry
definitely
Potter
not.
fan, so no.
I know it. That's sarcasm.
It's okay.
Your
It's
face
okay.
is sarcasm.
It's okay. I know what you mean.
That's all right.
Looks cool.
I was going.
Well, I never know with you because you don't know half of nothing
Right,
half the
yeah.
time.
I was going
You a
for
slipping
like
door.
underage school child.
Ain't you a
with
slipping door? Ain't that
oversized
what?
clothes.
That's what they call it.
A slipping door.
Ain't
There's
you
so many people who are going to be upset at you.
Right.
You say it.
Ain't you a Grifferin?
They gonna come find you, Perry. You
I know.
better cut
Y'all
it
can
out.
hate me. See, that's the best thing about nerds. Y'all can't fight anyway. And to the left, they don't want that problem. I turned into a nerd. Stop. And to the left of my wonderful guest host, Sassy, is.
What's up, guys? Teffy Wonder here, coming in after being sick all day.
What kind? I'm not going to do it to you.
Don't. We have a child on the show tonight. Behave.
Listen, we are going to be so on our best behavior. You know, we always laugh and joke about.
Vomiting poop though.
Yo, poop jokes go over well with kids. All right, at least
It's pretty good.
poop. Like, look, he's already laughing.
Book has
You don't even gotta do that.
jokes in it.
Poop. Kids are the best. They're the best audience for stand-up comedians. You go up and tell about 4 poop jokes, they'll lay you to death.
Anyway.
Apparently, I'm a kid too because I'm dying.
I was say.
Fit right in. You in your peer group right now.
Right.
Dope, right?
Except he got more hair than you.
Wow. He does have luxurious hair. That's because he's got a beautiful crown to surround it, and it helps it to grow. That's why I wear it all the time. As a matter of fact, the folks at home may not know exactly who you are. So I know who you are. I know who your daddy is, but why don't you introduce yourself to the people?
I am Bryce Bullock, the creator of a comic book called Daddy Long Legs and the Inchworm.
Yeah. So wait a minute. Let me get this right. Real quick, because I'm going to talk to your dad for a bit. because it's an interesting story that surrounds the fruition of your comic book, how things came together, and how you guys work in tandem. But you mean to tell me, Bryce, how old are you?
11.
11 years old.
Yes.
How long have you been doing this comic book?
1 year.
1 year?
Yeah, 1 year.
Somewhere around 1 or 2, somewhere in the middle?
Yeah.
So you mean to tell me, somewhere around 9, 10 years old, you had the audacity to have a good idea, put it down on paper, and get to the point a year later where you have a whole comic book series?
Yes.
Well, tell me about it. Like who is Daddy Long? First, who's Daddy Longlegs?
Daddy Longlegs is my dad.
It's Daddy?
Yeah.
All right, well, that makes a lot of sense. All right. Well, all right, Daddy, you mind if I talk to Daddy Longlegs for a minute? Yeah, sure. As a grown man, it's hard for me to call him that. But I'm just going, wow, Daddy Longlegs, tell me what your real name is.
The real name is Demetrius Bullock.
I'm sorry,
a.k.a. Daddy Longlegs.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to keep this.
That's cool. That's cool. You know the name Daddy Long. You already know. But
if y'all don't know,
yeah,
his wife is in the background and she is deep red blushing, and I love every minute of it. He said, "You already know."
Yeah. Daddy Longlegs.
He took a glance. He winked at his wife like, yeah.
Daddy Longlegs. Yes, I'm the duo. Daddy.
I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is I love the family unit. No, because you know what. I have my own opinions, but I want y'all to really to let the people know, because it's really dope, because it's a family affair.
Yes, it is.
It's and I love Mom sitting on the couch in the back, and I don't know if you guys can see her on camera or not, but she's in full support, and she's just as integral into this. It's one of the reasons why we wanted to kind of talk to Bryce and Demetrius first. But you were telling us about Daddy Longlegs. Exactly who is he in the comic book? What does he represent? And how did he come to fruition?
Okay, well, in the comic book, we actually play ourselves the way my son wrote it. I'm Demetrius Bullock, that's my real name. Daddy Longlegs in the comic book. And how I came to be was it all came about because of an accident. We fell into a stream. We acquired some of these high-powered chemicals from a villain who was working on a formula by the name of the dung beetle.
Like and not to make comparisons, but like just for the viewers, like on a Joker type of vibe. Or who else in comic books fell into some chemicals?
Two-Face.
Two-Face. Well, didn't he get acid thrown in his face? Ain't nobody throw no acid in his face.
No, nobody threw no acid. What happened was that the dung beetle, who had became a human-sized person with a high-powered intelligence, he was working on a formula. Once he found out something in the story that kind of
because you don't want to give y'all got to buy the books if you want the whole scoop.
It kind of enraged him at the fact that all these years he's been experiencing something, and he was put in a position where he's seen something else that kind of enraged him and turned him into some monster. Okay. He started working on a formula that was going to destroy the world, and he was throwing chemicals out the window off of the failed formulas. And it turns out that as we were walking, we accidentally slipped, fell in the pond, and we acquired the failed formula, which turned out to be a blessing in disguise.
Oh, y'all got some old Ninja Turtle kind of backstory. Y'all done slipped in some mutagen. That's what happened to you.
That's what happened.
All right, that's super dope.
Oh, my idea. I was about to say like the Ninja
Turtles. That's because we think alike. We both immature.
So, Shannon wants to know, are the books available online?
Yes, they are. They are available.
Amazon and online Barnes and Noble.
He said, and online Barnes and Noble.
Yeah, they are
Run my
Amazon.
paper.
Yes. And we're gonna be at the Comic-Con for kids on Saturday and Sunday. This week, by the way.
This week?
Yeah.
So can they get them right at the convention from you?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So that's going to be at Oaks, PA, in the convention center.
Absolutely,
there, right?
yep. This coming Saturday, October 12th and October 13th, and there we're going to be releasing a spin-off from the comic book series. Bryce came up with an idea where the Inchworm kind of falls into a sleep, and in his dream he battles another villain. So it's a break off from the actual graphic novel series. Yeah.
Wasteland
Well, now
Inchworm,
listen,
by the way.
It's called the Wasteland.
For everybody that's tuning in right now, I see y'all going crazy with the likes and the hearts, and I appreciate that love, especially for this. This is the reason why King Kurt don't got his crown on, because somebody usurped my throne, and he was a little bit more worthy of it. Hey, look now, you ain't gonna be taking the button too, but that was right on point. What I want y'all to do, and you know how I am, I don't always do this to y'all, but I need y'all to do me a favor. We always talk about sharing positive stories. We always talk about doing content that uplifts and inspires. I don't see enough shares. I don't see enough people taking this live stream and saying, here's this 11-year-old young king with a supporting father and a loving mother looking over and guiding him in his craft and spreading a positive message. I need more people to share this. I need more people to spread this type of message, not for the show, but for their specific message. Because at 11 years old, I can tell you right now, I had a lot of ideas, but I never really brought anything to fruition for years until I was into my adulthood, because I just assumed that it was too hard to do. What I love seeing, first of all, I love seeing sitting you. I get emotional, I get misty eyed because I love seeing a young brother sitting here with that crown on his head, because this is what it's supposed to represent. We talk about young kings, we talk about doing things, y'all hashtag black excellence and black business and all that mean a bunch of nothing if we don't tap into the next up and coming generation and encourage them to do that. So it's their time now. I want you, because honestly, you're a great example for a lot of young people out there. As a matter of fact, you're leading a panel at KidsCon, right?
Yes.
What are you going to be talking about?
How kids can create comic books.
So you're already taking what you've done and you're going to help teach others how to do what you do.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you find the courage to do that?
I guess it just, happens.
Okay. Well, great power comes great responsibility.
Yeah, I guess so.
Oh, he sounds like a child that grew up in a good household.
I mean, yeah. No, I was gonna say, like, my mom and my dad, like, they always thought we had good ideas, but they never, like, really would, like, throw in behind it, be like, all right, let's sit down and, like, cultivate this. Like, I guess, well, with my parents being divorced and stuff like that, like, it was way different. So I'm really happy to see, like, that not only are you, like, encouraging him to be creative, but y'all are actively, like, helping him build something and, like, go forward with it, because that's so important too. It's one thing to tell your kids, like, oh yeah, we support you and we think your art is important, but unless you're actually gonna, like, help them build it up and help them do something with it, like, it's just kind of like lip service in a way.
Look at the picture for y'all at home, and Tef hit the. I love it. When me and Tef vibe, boy, we be on the same wavelength because we both come from broken homes. But that's a whole nother conversation. We bond on our pain, baby. But look at the model next to it. If you get an opportunity, they have cosplays. They when they come to comic book conventions, they come as their characters.
Yeah. Yeah.
We learned about Daddy Longlegs, INCHWORM. Yeah. I'm assuming who that is.
Huh?
Who that is? Oh, I'm sorry, Bryce. Who exactly? See, when you address a king, you got to speak the king's English. Bryce, could you please elaborate for me exactly who the INCHWORM is?
So the INCHWORM is me.
Oh, Bryce always look like he about to spit the hottest bar in the best mixtape. That he's like, me. That's it, Kirk. That's about it. So the INCHWORM is based off of you.
Yeah.
Here's what's interesting to me. Did Dad write any of this?
No, it was just on me.
So wait, you mean the entire story, the world, the universe, the intricacies of the storyline, the villains, the heroes, that came from you?
Yes.
So can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Why you made yourself the sidekick?
No, he's the sidekick.
See, I read Daddy Longleg in the Richmond. I know who the main character is. Yeah. And what's interesting is, and as a child, you usually, Dad is the hero. But Dad plays a great supporting role in real life because though you write the story, what's his part in this?
He like colors the story. He teaches me how to like draw different aspects of like how to like develop the characters, like teaching me how to draw like different like scenarios and different looks for characters.
So Dad's an artist?
Yeah, he's an artist.
Come here. Let me ask you a question. Is he any good? We keep it 100, right? We might have to outsource the next one, but for right now, Dad is because you know it was dope. I was looking through a lot of your content and really trying to get because we got to meet Bryce and Demetrius at Black Label Con.
Yes. Big
ups to my man Eric because he was able to put together creatives. I don't want to just say PLC creatives because it was a multitude of people. You know, Tef and Sass, and we were all there. We got the chance to interact. Bryce stole my crown, beat me up in video games, did a phenomenal interview. He definitely whooped me in video games. By the way, we're going to run that back next time I see you. Okay. When these cameras go off, we're going to talk about that because now I see you again. What's up, cuz? No. But we got the chance to sit down and talk. And one of the things that I loved was not only your art style, because this is an award-winning young man.
Well,
go ahead.
He won. He's Junior Achievement Award winning. He won a medal alongside Doug Henderson, radio personality, for a book that he had did when he was 5 years old.
Wait, whoa!
He's the one that started this on this whole journey of wanting to create books and writing. He's been writing since 5 years old. 5 years old. 5 years.
Wait.
5 years old.
Now, look, I'm not doubting. But you know me, Tef already looking at me like, this Negro is about to be 5 years old.
5 years old, he'd been creating stories. He, as an artist, like you said, I'm an artist, I'm a painter.
I believe it. I've been doing it too.
Because you're a writer, right, Tef?
Yeah, I have stories that are like older than you are.
5 years old, he would come down, he would watch me draw in the basement, he'd sit there, he'd look at me, and then one day, he had said to my wife and I, he said, I want to make a book. Wow. And I said, all right, well then let's make a book. What you got? And he told us the story.
See what supportive dad looks like?
He told us a story about, it was called The Hungry Kid. And it's a picture book. And it was just a story about him just trying to find something to eat in the house. It was just a beginner reader book. It was a good book. People loved it. So when he bought the idea, my wife and I were going around the house, we're taking pictures, we put together his words, the assistance of us. We were gonna just do a little a book we could make at Walmart, something that he could have for himself. But then my wife decided, she was like, "What if we get this published?"
See, just to add a little sauce to this.
Yeah.
See how the kings will create, but it take a good queen to take it to the next level. Now, all I'm saying, no, the king. Listen, look, the kings will build a castle, but it'll take a queen to make a kingdom. And go ahead, continue.
And so she started doing her research, and she found an online publishing company, a self-publishing company, where you can print on demand.
Y'all hear that? If you're creative out there, he's giving you the blueprint.
Yeah.
He's giving you the blueprint.
It was an online company. At the time, it was called Create Space. Now it's called KDP Publishing. And you upload your files, and you print upon demand. You can print 1,000 books. You can print one book. And you have complete control of your content.
Your content.
And
but is that important to you?
It's very important. It's very important because you can push for the publishing companies. Might get a response, you might not. However, I think through this way, we allow the public to be the judge of it. And we get to reach our audience the best way that we can.
Right.
And
I'm sorry, we got a lot of people chiming in on our chat because, as you know, our show is live. So when our viewers come in, they come in flowing, and they see you the minute. So for everybody with your questions, please just post your questions. I'll try to do my best to get it to them. I'm gonna let them continue on with the story. But if you have any questions or things that you want to talk about, let me know, and we'll be able to transfer it to them and Everybody's laughing about you being a sidekick.
Yeah.
but go ahead, continue.
Yeah, so I mean, so the Hungry Kids. So then we got the book published. I had called his principal, and I just wanted to see if we could get the books in the library. And when we spoke to his principal, she was like so blown away by it. She said no other child has done something like that. And
at 5.
At 5. So she went and she contacted the news station in Delaware, WDEL, and they came out and they did a big book signing at his school with him. We got footage of it on the news and everything where he did his signing. From there,
do you even remember that?
From there, he wrote a lot of different stories pertaining to superheroes. Once he got a whiff of superheroes, he came across some of my old comic books, and then he got really excited about learning more about superheroes. And then when he saw Spider-Man, that was it.
That was it. Oh, that was it. So wait. Now let's geek out a little bit.
That was it.
Who's your favorite superhero? Well, choose wisely.
Don't be pressuring him.
Hey, listen, look. I'm the captain now.
Exactly. Don't worry.
Come on, who's your favorite superhero? Right now.
INCHWORM.
INCHWORM. No, man, that's what I'm talking about. I was looking at him like, you better say your own character, boy. For marketing, that's marketing genius. I'm my own superhero. Not worried about what everybody else is doing. My man, Lonzo Starr, CEO of Concrete Comics, said the INCHWORM and the Acolyte gonna be fired. That means there might be a collaboration down the line. Look, they already want INCHWORM in other books.
Yes. We had a chance to meet them also at the Comic-Con.
If y'all are tuning in just now, we got an influx of people. Listen, what we're asking you to do is take this live feed and share it on your platform. Share it in your groups. We have 11-year-old Bryce and his father Demetrius. They are the content creators of a comic book of their own imagination called
Daddy Long Legs and the INCHWORM.
Now, mind you, we got a question from the chat. Shan wants to know, who's your favorite villain? Ooh, that's an even better question. And it better not be Dung Beetle, because we don't like him.
I don't know if I should say his name yet.
Oh.
But wait, yes I can. His name is Darkspot.
Who's all right? Well, wait. Is it somebody we might see later on in the books?
He's the 4th issue villain.
Ooh,
nice.
So you are wait. Is that an exclusive?
Yeah.
Oh, well, you got to hit the button. You gotta hit the button for exclusives. Okay. All right. So take me down the lane. First of all, you're an artist. Mm-hmm. So, what's your background? I mean, are you a nerd by nature, a geek by nature, or are you a creative and an artist? Because obviously, before Bryce came along, it seems like you were already doing content creation.
Art saved my life. I grew up in the Bronx, in New York City.
Hey, the boogie down.
Yeah, I grew up in the South Bronx.
Look, our engineer Don is a New York boy. He get tired of seeing us Philly cats all the time.
For all of you who may remember this movie called Fort Apache, the Bronx, that was my neighborhood. And for a while, I wanted to get involved in street life. I got a lot of friends that's involved in it and everything, and just feel like you got to fit in. You got to fit in, but that wasn't for me. My mom saved me, keeping me out of the streets, and what I started gravitating to was just art. The 2 and the 5 train would go right outside my window, and a lot of the graffiti art I used to see on there, I used to admire. I love the colors. I love the way how they can create characters and a story in just a flash on a subway car. And I started drawing. I had a god brother who was about a couple of years older than me, who I really admired, who could draw, and I was watching him and how he started drawing, and then I fell in love with comic books. There was a store on the corner in the Bronx I used to go to, and every Friday they had the new comic book out. It'd be hanging up on this rope on the top, and I'd go in there and I'd point to the one I want. He'd take it down with the broom, and I go home and I start looking at the way how they drew the body. Started paying attention to the anatomy, everything. I started looking at things and practicing drawing, and then I take it away and see if I can still draw it from memory, not knowing that I was
superhero growing up. Come on,
my favorite superhero growing now.
Yeah, I'm gonna put you on the spot.
That's a tough one because there was so many that I didn't have a favorite at the time. I'll be honest with you. I had a favorite of Styles.
Okay, well, all right, talk to me.
I had a favorite of Styles. I started really getting involved with Jim Lee. Silver Star, a lot of the later ones. Earlier on, of course, Kirby,
yeah, obviously.
You know, but even with Kirby, not taking anything away from him, I started saying I could do that better. Not that I don't want to say, you know, that's a legend. But
we wear crowns on this show.
I would do that different.
We wear a whole crown. It say HNIC in the background. If there's any time to flex your drip, this is it. If you say you can do it better.
And that's it. You start going over something after you do several repetitions. Something I'm trying to teach my son. I practice with him. Repetition over something. And once you see that you keep doing the same thing, that becomes your style. But you always got room for growth in a lot of things. I practiced that with him as I taught myself. I'm self-taught with everything.
Really?
Yeah.
So no formal training?
No formal training.
Completely self-taught?
Completely self-taught.
How about you, Bryce? Did you go to college for this? No. So where do you see Daddy Longlegs and the Inchworm going? And what's your future plans for all of this?
So first, what I want to do is I want to go to like the hospital and read to the children. All right. Look now, you just too doggone cute.
Now look, you're getting me misty-eyed, and I don't want to be crying on my own show.
None of that.
Yeah, because I snot bubbles and all that. But go ahead, continue. You want to go to the hospital and read to the kids? Why is that important?
Because I just think that like I could make them happy. I just want to make them happy.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with spreading a little love.
And then next, what I want to do is I want to make like a TV show. Then I want to get a movie. Then I want to make even more comics. Then I want to get my own program. Then I want to get into the history books.
Oh, okay. You want to be in the book.
All right, so wait a minute. Let me lay out this plan so I can make sure that it's clear. So after we do the comic books and we read into the baby, so you want to do community service and do outreach within your own community and uplift it and bringing joy to the kids. Then you want to branch into TV, movies, and media. Is what I get. And then ultimately you want to make history doing all three of those things.
Yeah.
Rumble, young man, rumble. I'm about to just give him the hype button. Lofty goals. What makes you think so big to be so small?
I don't know. It's just like Stanley was like a huge inspiration, and like with all the stuff that he did, I wanted to do the same and do like even more,
I'm with it.
And
because you can do it.
Be the good in the world.
I mean, wait. You gotta stand up so they can see it. Yeah. What's it say?
Be the good, and then believe there is good in the world.
So wait,
where ours at?
This ain't no shirt you just bought off the rack. That got Daddy Longleg and the Inchworm on it. So this is your own branding.
Yeah.
So y'all already Dad, you got the same shirt.
Where our shirts at?
I don't have no problem with that. Just tell me where to buy it so I can support and make sure to help fund some of these dreams, because support comes in many forms.
Absolutely.
Like, where can people find your product, your comic book? Where can they share your content so that more people can know about what you guys are doing?
Well, we have a website, and through the website you can see all the events that we're going to be at, and you can also see our YouTube channel. And then there's like Fine Art America.
Well, it's through my actual site. It's my Pixel site. It's my name, Demetrius, Demitrius. What is it? Bullock, BULLOCK.pixels.com, where you can get our merchandise.
And you guys are on social media, correct?
Absolutely. He has his own website with the comic book company, Pancake Images.
Wait. I like that. Pancake Images.
Yeah.
Where did that name come from?
Pancakes.
You like pancakes? Well, you know what? Right?
Yeah. And keep his content hot like pancakes.
Yeah, I know that's right. and flip that cake. Anyway, we got a question from one of our viewers. They want to know, how long does it usually take you to write a graphic novel?
So, the first issue I did it in 2 days.
Wait, what? A whole issue in 2 days?
Yes. And then it takes my dad 2 months.
Wait a minute, you said that with a little sass on the back end of that.
I'm doing a lot.
Yeah,
you have your own thing.
You know, Dad gotta work. You know,
It depends on his
you know these bills ain't getting paid by Daddy Longleg just yet.
Let me tell you, no, I'm a at-home dad. I work at home. I'm a graphic artist. Yeah, this is my
This
career.
is it.
This is it.
Yeah.
But I do take on other commissions.
Got you.
To date, I think I illustrated 15 books, 14,
15.
She said more than that, about 15, 16 books. I've illustrated a lot of children's books. I've done novels, a lot of stuff.
I've seen some
book
of your
covers.
work on your Facebook page. You are amazing.
Thank you.
I love it.
So, and when it comes from, see, my son is still hands-on with his artwork. He still does it on paper.
You're going to the digital. You already
right. A lot of it is raw. When he gives it to me, I'm just cleaning up the lines on it. I try to keep a lot of his artwork. Some of it I'll add the backgrounds to it. You know, like I try to teach him that you gotta set your place for your characters. You can't just have it where they're just there in space. You gotta give your audience that beginning. You know. These are things that I learned in reading comics and looking at comics.
You're giving them the keys.
Yeah. A lot of things that, you know, like you may look at, you know, a person may look at a comic and just love it for what it is, you know, the story. But I looked at everything. I paid attention to everything. And what
we have we have a comment, and I got to give it to you because I don't want to lose it in the flood of comics that we got coming in. But Dan Dinkins, it's not so much a question, but just he wanted to give you guys accolades. He says, Bryce is going to be something special. Salute to that young man and his dad.
Wow. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Dinkins. Thank you so much.
Look, definitely we accept love. I'll relay it as best I can. And I apologize for interrupting. I just want to make. I see you guys are commenting, and I'm gonna get it out as best as possible. But it's super dope because you get to see Dad and we get to see Bryce. How's Mom play a role? Because you know I don't want to leave the Queen out. I don't want no problems.
Let me tell you, she's the glue. He made it clear this morning. We were sitting down, we were eating breakfast, and he said, "You know, we're a triangle. We're the triangle."
Who are you? What old man resides in your body? That's no. I think that is the triangle.
I took it.
Go ahead.
It's the basketball thing with the Chicago.
The triangle defense. Yo, go ahead.
That my dad told me it this morning when I said that we were a triangle. He was like, "That's the triangle offense that the Chicago Bulls use. They be like." They only lost 10 games out of 82 with the triangle with the triangle offense.
Not to get all hoteppy, but also, you know, the pyramids, they have triangular bases, and the reason is because it becomes the strongest points. Each one of those 3 points are at the strongest when they're structured together and they hold together. That's why the family unit is always at its strongest. When you have 3 people working in unison and in harmony, and that's why all sides are equal in love and harmony, but one side might bear more weight than the other. Like Dad might take on more of this responsibility, Mom might take on this much responsibility, and whoever's on either side of it has to pull their weight at equal times, but they lean on each other at all times to make a base. I didn't mean to get all deep on y'all.
Well said. So back to your question, Mom is the glue. Mom is the glue. Once he's done with the drawing, gives us the story, sends it to me, ping pongs it to me, and I'm doing the inking, adding the color, send it to her. She
writes up all the words.
She types the words in, the word bubbles. She's editing it. She's formatting it. She's sending it out.
And we have like a new printer where we're able to print like our own comics.
So now, see, y'all showing off now. Y'all about to start publishing your own stuff?
Oh man, yeah, I think so.
All right.
We're still working out some stuff.
Yeah, you know, I understand, bro. Yeah.
But it's going pretty good so far. We have some coloring books.
Mom, if you want, you can come on up on the mic. The Mom said, you back here. So now, I guess at this point, you guys are almost a self-contained company. Any futures to expand? I mean, any plans to expand? Did I say that right? Oh, I got all dyslexic for a second. Any plans to expand in the future?
That's the goal, of course. Right now, we're doing it. It's a three-man ship, but like I explained to my son, is that as we grow, it'll grow. You know, you've got to open up the hands and allow others to be part of it as well. As long as they're coming in to be, you know, keep it positive and help it grow further. Mm-hmm. I said, well, we'll get to that point. Yeah, Pancake, and then there is. We're expanding. Goes to that. We're expanding with the Pancakes After Dark. When we publish this Pancake Images universe,
I'm already interested.
Yeah, I said, let me do something that's for like the older children, you know, because
don't be blushing at that, Bryce. Don't be Pancakes After Dark.
Right now, his content. Yeah, I'll send you the right now, his content is I like that. You know, it's for family.
Right.
It's for everyone. Even when we go on the Pancakes After Dark, we're not going to make it
obviously it's not going to be crazy,
but it's going to be something that, you know, the older children, you know, the teenagers can enjoy, and so we add some of the other content that's, you know, a little more
a little bit gritty,
hard hitting,
because you're mature, but you're still 11.
Yeah. But he has a lot of stories he's ready to put out under Pancake Images. All he does is right. How that came to be with us is that he would always come to me with different superheroes. Daddy, I got a new idea. Daddy, I got a new idea. You got to see this new superhero. And this one day when he bought his, I don't even remember what the superhero was that he bought to me, but I said to him, why don't you turn me into a superhero one day? And he said the name right there. He said, you know, you could be Daddy Longlegs and I could be the Inchworm. Well, my wife and I heard it, and we was like, yo, that's hot.
That's hot, yeah.
That's hot. And he was like, work on that. He didn't do nothing with it right away. I was teaching art at this school called Conrad School of Science in Delaware, and I invited him at the last day when we were giving awards to children who participated in a lot of the art programs that I was working on with. And he had asked one of the teachers for some paper, and he went in the back of the classroom, and that's where he started drawing Daddy Longlegs and the Inchworm.
Right then and there.
He drew it. He went home, was drawing till it was time to go to bed. He woke up in the morning, went right back to drawing it, and about midday he was like, Daddy, I finished that comic. Tell me what you think. And after reading it, my wife read it. It was like, what you think? What you think? I was like, son, I'm gonna show you what I think. We are third issue, fourth issue about to be released in November.
Oh, and we got the exclusive on the villain. What's the villain name again? Dark Spot. So they can be so y'all can be on the lookout for it. I am highly impressed with you guys as a unit. I wasn't sure if Sass or Tef had any other questions or.
Oh, I have questions. So my first question is this your firstborn, and do you have any that are within the age brackets of like 24 and up?
Sass said, I'm trying to see what's hitting for.
I gotta ask. I had to ask.
I got a 24-year-old, but they both, and a 25-year-old, they're both married. Both married.
You should have known that. The good ones are always taken.
Good men.
I'm still single.
Good.
Of course you are.
I know.
It's okay.
Bryce, hit the button.
And also I wanted to put out there that I have found finally a fellow JoJo fan who agrees with me about how much they love JoJo. It's JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
You like JoJo?
Is the greatest. Yes.
Zorano!
Yes! Thank you.
Why do y'all do that? I don't know. These weebs and otakus.
Leave us alone. We are proud weeb trash.
You hit that with some bass.
Yeah.
What about you, Tef?
Y'all done gave me what I needed, like free, like the publisher and all that. I'm straight. I'm about to start screenshotting some of this stuff. But Shan had two questions. How much of the stories in the comics come directly from your experiences, and do you have a dream crossover graphic novel, and with whom?
Oh wow.
So, where I get like most of the ideas for the comics is like a real world situations, because like sometimes like some kind of like situation like Today, when my dad forgot his wallet in the house, he went inside to go get it, but then he locked the door, and then he didn't know that he had his keys in his pocket. So then he got in the car, and then mommy was like, "Oh yeah, where's the keys?" And then he was like, and then he got locked out. So what we're gonna do with that is then like what we usually do is we like turn that into like a scene into the comic.
So everyday life. So basically when Dad messes up, it's going to end up in the comic.
Yeah.
All right, dope. I like that.
What, let me get out of here.
Bryce, we don't need to talk about this anymore. We can keep it
no, this is what made it funny because he's been asking us for a key. He wants his own key, and we're saying, "Oh, we're my
we'll get there.
We'll think about it. We'll think. You know, we work from home, so what do you need a key for? You come over here. We're there."
He said, "Boy, I'm here to open the door for you."
But well, we got to think about it. We got to make sure that you're responsible. You got to be responsible. What makes you responsible, Sonny? He was giving us his reasons why it's responsible. And then, as we're driving, going down the road, I realized I didn't have my wallet. So I said, "Babe, we got to go back to the house. I got to go get my wallet." So then he was like,
"You got a key."
Because he's the type, he hears and it becomes a story. He locks it in, but he hears that and it's like, wow. After he just spoke about being responsible. So I rush inside to get my wallet. I'm coming back out. When she asked me, do I have the key? I thought I left the key in it now. And then I said, wow, now that would be funny because you could have said, because that was the only key we had that could get us back in the house. If I had my key, we could have got back in there.
and he got
that's a cartoon.
And now he reasons.
That's a comic. And that's something.
But Bright, did you give him the face like,
but within it being us being superheroes, what my son has been working on is just he as with all superheroes, you give him human sides.
Right.
You take scenarios and things like that that shows the human side aside from the superhero, and the what he's managed to do is the best part about this is that I'm a dad first.
Right.
We got these powers, and as a child, if you got powers, you'd be excited to have them. But as a dad, I'm fighting with him, but I'm fighting with my 11-year-old son.
Right.
Who don't want nothing to happen to.
Right, because there's the nuances of him trying to protect his son, but still allowing him to grow into his
fighting against these villains that's about to do harm to the world. But we got these powers to offset it, to stop them. But I'm like, hold up, I want to get rid of the powers.
Oh, that's a dope.
I want to get rid of the powers, but until then, we got to do what we got to do till we figure this thing out.
Oh, so this is a multi-layered story here. This ain't just popcorn reading.
No, of course not.
Yeah, excuse you.
I apologize, young king. I meant no disrespect.
So that's where it all comes in. We later find out that mom has a backstory. She becomes part of the story as well. Under our noses, she's always had a talent, but she didn't know that we were who we are. And
what? So
it's
where is my super suit?
Man, it's crazy. It's the audience is really going to enjoy the series. If you take part in the series, you're going to see the different layers of the characters, the stories, how they all tie together, and just the love and compassion between the family dynamics in it. It's a pretty. He's working on something big.
I don't know about y'all. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong, but I can't really think off the top of my head a black family unit like this creating a comic book character superhero team that's a strong black family unit. No, and tell me if I'm wrong, because there's a lot of content out there, but there's a family dynamic here that I love. It's one of the things that attracted me to you guys' work from the moment I saw it. I think all three of us fell in love with the three of y'all. Genuinely. And I don't let nobody rock the crown, even though there was somebody last week dusting it up.
We were talking about Diane Kurt.
Yeah, Diane Kurt.
King Kurt Light.
Yeah, King Kurt Light. Right, Bryce, yeah, get out of here. But I tell you one thing, seeing that on your head, one of the reasons why I like wearing that is because typically though it's representative of what we should be. And you're rocking it, and I'm allowing you to rock it. And I remember that funny story when at the con, he instantly gravitated right to it. He was like, "Yep, that." And I was like, "Oh, so you're just gonna?" And we did the whole interview with it on his head. After the fact, he went to get up, and I didn't mind. You know, he was doing his own thing. But his parents, and I loved it, they were like, "Get that man back his crown." Like, look at, and Bryce was going, and he was like, "I gotta give it." I was like, no, it was cool. Now me, I didn't have a problem with it, but I felt disrespectful because I was like, dang, his parents told him to do something, and then here I come telling them, like, go ahead and all straight. So I went over to apologize to them and be like, I hope I didn't overstep. And then I was like, but if it's okay, I'm like a little kid asking, can I spend the night? I'm his little cousin.
That's exactly what you just reminded me of. So I wanted to know.
Can me and Bryce go play with the crown for a little bit?
I gotta say, man to man, I just appreciated that you even came over and just even said that, you know. Right. But it was no problem at all.
Yeah, and that's
we were more concerned with, you know, him just walking away with just that. I said, well, look, you know, take it back.
But he's such a, but that's what I love.
You came over and you even said something like that, said a lot about you, and it's like, well, I like him.
Yo, and
that was all right.
We connected instantly, and I knew, and trust me, it was a long time coming because we've had a lot of guests on the last 2 months, and just making sure that our schedules align because, you know, they're coming all the way from Delaware, but I have been looking forward to this moment and to re-interview you guys, to have you on, because I knew, not just Bryce, I don't know if you realize this, and I hope you do, because I don't want to gas you too much. So humility goes a long way and stuff. But I'm cocky, so don't worry about it. We'll talk.
I was to say, you the last one to be talking about.
No, because
also, don't be like
no. Just like INCHWORM, you know, there's power. See how they do me? See, that's how when you wear the crown, baby, they can talk. You don't hear them, baby, when they under your feet.
We're not talking
about
you.
Well, I don't got the crown on just yet, but we're gonna talk, baby, because I saw Dolomite and I'm feeling real good about myself.
Jimmy got checked.
Yeah. Way down deep in the
I think I want Bryce to replace you. Like,
Bryce can really replace. Look, Bryce, you can come back on this show and replace Tef and Sass. Oh, you meant me?
Oh my God!
You want to get rid of me?
No, he can sit right here in your
Go to commercial.
and run everything.
Right. Wait a minute. Hold on, Bryce. You smiling too hard at that. Wait a minute. Give me that dog.
He like JoJo.
It shows something. Yeah, right.
Bryce, we gotta have you back on, and especially because I know you're gonna be at KidsCon.
Yes.
And as far as the rest of your con schedule, where's some other places that people can see you?
We're gonna end this year at the Ocean City Comic Con in Maryland. We're gonna be there as well.
Dope.
And January, Schaumburg, Harlem gave us a lot of love when
as
the
they
release
should.
of the first and second issue sold out. Those events, so we're
I like them words.
Really nice. Where else? We've got quite a few. We're going to be making a stop in Boston.
Wait, Mom, what'd you say?
We're in Brooklyn.
Okay.
Back to Brooklyn.
Bam.
New York. All my New Yorkers stand up. Make sure to let them know.
Not you, Don.
Yeah. We've got and he's going to be receiving an award.
Whoa. Typically, you getting another award?
Yes.
Yeah. He was nominated at the Egg Back. He was nominated for Rising Star, so but he didn't win, but we're gonna push it. I said, wow, this is still a wonderful accomplishment, son. Within a year, from a thought that came out of your mind, he was nominated for something.
Exactly, and there's more to come after that. Plenty more to come.
You 11, son. There's so
Sky's the
you have such a long and illustrious, obviously, future ahead of you. Like, definitely, like, one to watch for sure. Like, even if you don't get this one, you gonna get there 100%.
Thank you.
What's dope is I think you know it, but I think your greatest superpower are the two people that you have holding you up right behind you. I know for myself, I had parents that did the best they could as a creative. So I can't rock like how you rock, but as a creative, now my team supports me, and I know how important that is for me because like when I'm sick, when I'm not feeling well, this, that, and the third, they keep me motivated to have parents in house helping be. And I mean that when I say help, I mean it loosely because you're writing the stories, but just to know that you have their support. Sassy's a creative. In the same right, and I think we all can speak to the importance of having people support. For those that are watching, I want y'all to see what we mean by when we say we want to give you content and imagery that shows you, gives you the blueprint for how to. Nobody's telling you how to parent, but these kids that are creators, I could tell you, I'm 37 years old. Comic books were a joke when I was growing up. They were a waste of time. Put them video games away. Do this, do that. And I'm not knocking the way I was raised because I appreciate and love what my mother did for me. But there are gamers making $4 million out here right now. I mean,
a kid just won $3 million playing Fortnite.
Mom, I could have been a duck hunt champion by now. Young Bryce is already winning awards, being nominated for awards, was writing books at 5 years old. One of the things my mom did build into me was creativity. And I know, Tev, you've been writing
literally my whole life. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I kind of wish my parents had been like, all right, let's sit down and like, let's actually like do this thing. Like my situation, like I said, was different. I'm the oldest of 10 children. So it's hard to give everybody like something like individually. Or even just have that time to sit down and just do it. At one point, my mother was working 3 jobs to support her 3 children. So, like, it's different. And that's why now I'm like, wow, like, that is so great. Like, if my son ever comes to me, I'm like, no, we're going to sit down and we're going to do this for real. Like, if this is something you want. And now it's like, I struggle to, like, do things now creatively because it's like, I have a son of my own, I work. But I come here and, like, I try and, like, give it my all. Like I said, I was sick all day today. But I was like, no, this feeds my soul.
Yes.
And then knowing that you guys are going to come on here. Right. No, like, knowing you guys, I couldn't miss you, baby.
So now, here's my proposal to you. When you're ready to go and do TV and movies, allow me to make my first pitch to make that movie. Okay. Not let me make it. Let me make my first pitch before you go to MGM and Disney and all of that. I ain't got their budget. But let me tell you something. Work with me, because I think genuinely, I say that because I know down the line we're gonna make that movie, and it's gonna be dope. And nobody's gonna be worried about anybody's Pixar or DreamWorks. They're gonna be worried about Daddy Longlegs and the Inchworm, because the same way y'all show support for Spider-Man and y'all went to bat, y'all all Hades broke loose. Here goes some insects y'all need to be worried about. No, seriously, because I'm just tired of y'all, not y'all, I don't want to beat you up, but we go crazy over chicken sandwiches and Spider-Man, and we worried about all the wrong things, and here you are. Here it is. The content that you want is perfect for your children.
Or if y'all are tired of reboots and people making the same stuff over and over again, spend your money here. Support original stories and original independent artists. I've backed my friends on Kickstarter with the last $25 I had.
And guess what? Listen, let me tell you something real right. And I love that you said that, because sometimes miss out on the cheesesteak, y'all. Miss out on happy hour. Miss out and feed a young king's dream. Please, I will implore this every episode of every show to the last show that we ever do in this building, because I know that my rest of my team rocks with me with the same ideology. This cannot stop here. And we have got to stop complaining about things being the status quo when we have opportunities to feed the next generation. He's going to be writing the comic books and cartoons that your children will grow up. So why not have them have family values when you know they're writing stories with family values? I don't want to hear no excuses. All I'm saying is, tell the people one more time, Bryce. They can buy your books at Amazon and where?
Online Barnes and Nobles.
Online Barnes and Nobles, Amazon.
And
No.
Tours.
Oh no.
Actual,
And Tours.
all online retailers.
All online retailers, and they can go to your website, which is
PancakeImages.com, and instead of having the C, it's a K.
PANKAKE.
Don't spell. You know how we spell pancakes. Y'all know. Come on, y'all know how we spell pancakes. Mom, though you are taking the couch, I just want to say thank you for coming and supporting not only this young brother but your husband, because let me tell you something. In this world, there are a few people like you and him, and especially creating such a special young man here.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. Look,
no, sorry that bubbling and stuff. But yeah, you should definitely take Grandpa Kurt's word for it. Yeah, no, Grandpa Kurt, you especially Grandpa Kurt to him.
Right.
His boy.
That's why you listen. Whatever you touch, if you need anything, you call us. We will do everything in our power, and even some things that ain't. Because you know my superpowers run long, baby. I got a whole Justice League of people. No,
he does. I wouldn't be here otherwise.
For real.
No, this is not to brag or boast, but if I can't do it myself, I know somebody that can. So whatever you need, I know Tef will support you. Sassy done already fell in love because of JoJo.
Yes.
Y'all got that. Y'all got that. Don is a whiz with everything geek, legitimately. And you have a team, you have a network, you have a village and a community. And that's one of the things about that triangle, right? Mm-hmm. You have your family, I have my family, and we have the family watching you right now. That threefold cord is not easily broken. That's the Bible scripture. I ain't going. We get ready to get up out of here on this one. I ain't gonna preach to you. Listen, y'all. They gotta get back to Delaware, and it's getting late. And you know, Bryce trying to stay up past his bedtime. He ain't slick.
Somebody got school tomorrow.
You still got school. Yeah. You going back to Prince after this? Listen, y'all. We got the Birds of Prey preview coming up right now. We're gonna say goodbye to Bryce. Unfortunately, I know you guys got questions pouring in, but look, hit them up on social media. DM them the questions. Show love, support, do all the things.
Like, share, subscribe.
Fact.
Spend your money on them.
After this, go ahead. Yeah, after this, it's gonna get a little bit more adult because we got some things to talk about as far as Joker and Martin Scorsese that lost his whole mind talking reckless to us geeks. We about to put our whole proverbial foot. I'm about to put the daddy long leg in his behind. Right? Well, that did not sound right. That did not sound right. That's a little. Bryce, don't hit the no. We get it. Look, first to play. Right now, Don, take me out of here before I say something else.
You know what a harlequin is? A harlequin's role is to serve. It's nothing without a master. No one gives two shits who we are beyond that. The Joker and I broke up. I wanted a fresh start. But it turns out I wasn't the only dame in Gotham looking for emancipation.
Spectacular news! Miss Quinn, she belongs to me.
Who are you guys?
Here's the deal, Quinn. You need me!
He's after all of us now. None of us are walking out of here unless we work together.
You gotta be kidding me.
Isn't this fun? It's just like the sleepover. We should order pizza. Big Cosmos. Harley, focus. Okay. I'm the one they should be scared of. Not you. Not Mr. J. Because I'm Harley freaking Quinn.
Who's having a good time?
Get ready, ladies. Psycho chick. I never call a woman a chick. I'll accept broad, lady, woman, and on occasion, bitch. Bitch? What are you talking about? That for me, will you?
Come on, y'all. Y'all already know how it is. It's at the family reunion. And, you know, at the end of the family reunion, family got to say goodbye. We take 37 years to say goodbye to everybody. So, you know. All right, now, get home safe, Carl. All right, now. Bye-bye. Bryce, Demetrius, I am beyond impressed with them. I don't know about you guys, but I'm motivated.
I'm sad that they had to go.
I know.
Listen. I'm super sorry that they had to get up out of here.
Really? Because I see you put your crown.
You doggone right I did.
You happy to get that crown back, though.
Listen, we have because now we can kind of get into the nitty gritty.
Don't be like grandpa trash bag.
No, because when I see Bryce, that's the kind of son I would love to have if I ever had kids. Like I would, like what the boys say on Instagram. I want to look and be like, "You came out of my balls."
Yeah, well, I'm glad you didn't say that.
I had to wait for Bryce to leave before I could say that. But I always wanted to be like, "Son, you was in here.
You used to live in
my balls." You know,
that's the only thing you wanted.
Well, that's ain't no better way to embarrass your kids. I would say that right on the first day of school. Bye, baby. Just like how Miles' dad did. So like, you know, I love you.
Whoa.
Say it.
Oh God!
You came out of my balls.
My mom used to do that to me. She wouldn't let me get out the car. She'd be like, "Give me a kiss," and I'd be like,
Was I the only kid that was voluntarily like wanting to hug and love my mom and not really caring?
Like at first, but
yeah.
Fanny, stop hating. She said he put that crown on quick. Yup.
Exactly.
Listen.
He definitely did. He was like, "I got my crown back."
Exactly.
Yo, back in the day, I used to hate kissing my mom goodbye in elementary school. So she developed a way for us to say "I love you" without actually saying. She gave me the sign language. And to this day, I'm 37 years old. My mom puts that up. I melt every single time because I know
my mom would just be like, "Give me a kiss, or you're not going nowhere, or I'm gonna embarrass you for real."
Yeah, I just didn't like the spit thing that she used to do.
Hold on.
Yeah, I hate it.
All right, my man Steve said the cam is in the way. Hold on. Let's see if we can work that out. If that's better. Is that good? Do I look good?
Yeah,
okay?
I think we need to start doing whatever that is more often.
Yeah.
Blocking out my beautiful face.
Don't nobody want to see you.
Everybody want to see her.
Yo,
see
actually, don't nobody want to see me. That's what it is. All right, so look, y'all. Now it's time for the adult hour. It's the Adult Swim portion of the show.
Oh gosh.
Do we want to go through the hot topics? Tef, you want to take us through some of these hot topics?
I don't have it up.
That's all right. I got you. Because we was over there boo loving with the fam so hard, we forgot we had a whole show to do.
Yeah, they make you do that.
Yeah, well, it's like a family reunion when our peoples come through.
They're so
we got lit karaoke though, coming up November 6th. If y'all missed the last one, y'all need to stop playing and come to the next one. We got flyers and everything. We giving out $200, and we're right here in Philadelphia. We over at Chuck's Alibi, and go to Lit Karaoke 360 on Instagram. Go like and get all the information for Lit Karaoke. Trust me, you have not had karaoke till you come to Lit Karaoke.
Yes, but you better brush it up on your singing skills, because if you planning on winning that competition, I mean, it's all fun and games unless you in the competition, because some people are ready to blow.
For real. I was like, how is is fun. Y'all got real singers
No,
up here.
I didn't know that they was gonna come out the woodwork.
Yeah, they came. They was like $200, and then they rolled up with everything. They was ready. They looked like they was already celebrities.
The Migos was out there singing.
You said the Migos.
When the shirts came on.
Oh, that was my favorite part.
Oh,
yeah.
God, yeah.
Yeah.
Look at this.
I look at that video every time somebody liked it on my Instagram.
You are trifling. I love it. You are disgusting. I appreciate you.
No, and then you
what
pressure
say, Don?
me
I
to
gotta
get on stage.
turn it around. What's the matter? What am I doing wrong? I'm good. All right, beautiful. You gave me a thumbs up. Don was talking trash
No,
about
then
behind my
Kurt
back.
pressured me to get on stage.
Oh,
Yo,
yeah, I can't
what
wait
did you do? You twerked a little bit, and you did
Milkshake by
she
Khalees.
gave the lap
my
dances.
milkshake brings all the boys to the yard, and they're like, it's better than yours. Yeah, she was out there milkshaking y'all.
Brought everybody to the yard.
Oh, by the way, to clarify, I am not single. I don't want that problem. I am married to myself. Anyway.
Wow. You the only person who can stand you? Is that it?
Yeah, that's actually a sad truth. People
That's sad. I mean, that hurt me.
People don't rock with Kurt. Y'all be thinking it's a cold and lonely life at the top, baby.
That's wow. The people you went to rock with Kurt don't rock with Kurt. Those people rock with Kurt.
Plenty of them.
Whoa! And moving on. So Marvel wants John. Oh, here we go.
John Bernthal.
That's what she said. The Punisher and Vincent D'Onofrio. D'Onofrio. It's D'Onofrio, ain't it? It's D'Onofrio. D'Onofrio. Yeah. Dino Fritos.
God.
Basically, they want Punisher and Kingpin in the MCU, and I thought that was a super dope thing to see them trying to assimilate those guys in the MCU because they are indicative with the characters now, at least on screen.
Yeah. So I felt like they gave really even though I didn't really watch Punisher because he's not one of my favorites that I like very much, but he gave like a very iconic performance as the characters. But I thought, so what does that mean for everybody else? Because Mike Coulter has already moved on. He got a new show on CBS called.
Yeah, that joint trash.
Is it?
It was trash. I don't know. Mike Coulter, you know what it is? He's like the good Negro. I can't see him as a gangster.
He's not a gangster. He's like a priest or something.
Oh, no. Then I saw something else because he's either in a movie or something where he plays this gangster. He had a fur coat on. He was looking real gutter. I forget which.
That's not.
No, it's not the same thing. All right. Preacher.
He's
him.
a preacher in like the show Evil on CBS. It's like a priest and like a cop. They investigate, kind of like the X-Files.
Oh, all right.
You have a believer and a non-believer.
He's a magical Negro.
Don't.
Magical.
He's a magical.
He's not like the magical Negro in Swamp Thing.
He's bag of ants. Stop with the magical Negroes. We are not conduits for the dark forces all the time.
He's actually a priest. He's supposed to be he's a soldier for the light.
Yeah, so was Constantine. Wow. Anyway, moving on. Are we boring you?
Yes. Also, it's past my bedtime.
Yo, facts. I thought I was about to put you to bed with Bryce.
I probably need to be going to sleep.
It's about that nap time. If we not talking about anime, Sass don't care.
That is not true.
JoJo sucks. Oh no, that's not in the outline.
I hope every JoJo fan unites in unison outside of the studio.
I'm so joking, y'all. Please.
They will Zorldo you into oblivion.
I don't even know what that means, but it sounds like you need a cream for it. Sam Raimi. All right, so I don't know if y'all know this. We don't practice before we get on the mic.
No, but that's what makes us special because everybody gets to see us fall on our faces and feel like a normal human being.
We don't care. So my man Sam confirms that a new Evil Dead movie is in the works.
Yes.
We.
I mean, after they did like 3-4 movies, and they have their own TV series.
The Walking Dead has a musical episode that's going to be in the next season. This is where zombies have gone to.
Yeah. No, Evil Dead has always been like campy and like fun.
That wasn't supposed to be that, and they turned it. I heard it was supposed to be because of like a robot chicken skit or something
Right.
like that inspired it. But I don't care. Like, they did my show dirty. I started off being on like full support of that show, and now they're just dragging it through the mud. Like,
Right.
just
After the
stop
whispers,
it already.
after the whispers, I have to admit,
Please.
Kirkland,
Robert
you had
Kirkman.
That's what I said.
Kirkman.
That's what I said.
You
Kirkland.
said Kirkland.
Did I say it? I was thinking about Frank. I'm sorry. Kirkman. I'm saying, look, I'm from Philly. I don't know these.
Public school education. That's
Facts.
what we got.
But I went to public school and I can read.
Well, we don't all get that fortunate.
I'm about to say, Tef, you're also weird. So aside from that, I love Tef. No, I want to hug Tef, but she punches me often. She abuses me, y'all.
Lie.
Listen, if Kennedy's out there, I'm blanking. Yo, I am a huge Walking Dead fan. As a matter of fact, my man Randy from the Black Tribbles recently said Deceased was better than Marvel Zombies. And I almost came through my phone to whoop his tail in verbal geek battle over that one. And I'm a big fan of zombie-esque films. Even the new one that's about to come out. What's the sequel?
Zombieland.
I'm looking forward to Zombieland too.
Yeah.
But y'all can take this
double tap.
This Evil Dead. I ain't for it. Fans signed a petition to nominate Robert Downey Jr. for an Oscar in 2020. Here y'all go again.
For Endgame.
I mean, he did a great job, but Oscar-worthy performance?
He actually just came out recently and was like, no, like, don't do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, it's
Stop with the petition. Y'all do a petition for everything but the right thing. You know black people dying out in these streets. Why don't you do some petitions for that? Yeah. Marvel execs send James Gunn a gift as a gesture of goodwill on the first day of shooting on Suicide Squad. Aww.
It was so nice.
It's
he was so geeked out. He put it on his Instagram. I was like,
that's dope.
They're like, see, no hard feelings.
That's like when you dump Bay and then she sends you a text like, no hard feelings. The pregnancy test was negative.
Oh my God.
That's the feel. That's the feel good story that I heard. Tony Todd. Nah, I don't want to talk about him.
Damn.
No, forget that nigga.
And you say his name and then say y'all want to talk about him.
I don't want to talk about Tony
One
Todd.
day when we get famous, somebody's gonna bring up all of this
I don't
stuff,
care.
and we gonna be sitting there in interviews.
Tony
and I'm
Todd.
like, so what was it that you said about this
Tony
one time?
Todd,
Remember this
you can
clip? And
kiss
they
my-
gonna pull it up on the TV on this giant screen at Oprah,
They gonna be like, and
we
he's
gonna
here
be
now.
I got my personal feelings. Forget that nigga. Tony Todd, I said what I said. Don't worry about it. All right? Jordan Peele, though, I'm definitely looking forward to your Candyman remake. I'm moving on. It's a personal thing. Don't worry about it. I'll tell you about it later. The Kansas athletic director in hot water after Snoop performs at school with strippers. Wow. Tell me more.
What?
Yeah.
He performed at a school with strippers.
It was a college.
Okay, fine.
I was about to say, it ain't never been that lit in my middle school.
You just come to the children's school talking about some
It was KU?
And they having cheeks and
Really?
gardens.
Yes.
Uncle Snoop, you just get cooler and
So-
cooler. Y'all got to stop smoking that weed out there. Y'all done lost your minds.
That was part of the problem because he was out there with strippers and shooting off a money gun with like his face on it and there was like weed paraphernalia. I don't know if the school's supposed to be religious or what, but I was like, they grown as hell. Who cares?
Oh yeah, so they complained about it.
Yeah, it was. They were like, and he's in trouble.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah, they apologized because they were. Yeah, Snoop apologized actually because they were like, oh, like we thought it was gonna be more clear about what the parameters of what they could do.
Bringing hoes and shooting money in the air might be outside of the realm of poor college kids, but you know. Wow.
Yeah.
So.
That's why they apologize. They're like, oh, you want to do all this.
So basically, Don saying that Snoop sent them a memo saying he outlining this is what I'm going to do.
What he was like, so I thought we were being clear. Like I thought we had an understanding, right? Because they didn't get back to him and be like, yeah, no, y'all can't do none of that.
Yeah, Uncle Snoop said I was coming.
That's why the athletic director is in trouble, not Snoop.
And the thing is, really, like at the end of the day, who cares? Because the stuff that college students do and those sororities and everything else that they have, like, what's really the difference?
Yeah, the raves is already crazy. Trust and believe me, the stuff that goes on behind the scenes in college. Anyway,
I think really the story kind of blew up the way it did because the athletic director, he has like NCAA sanctions against him pending or something like that.
So that don't surprise me.
Oh yeah.
So and now it's like, oh, and you just gonna let strippers come and be at your school? But I was like, it's a college and they grown. I had Trick Daddy come to FIU and he was like, kill that baby ain't mine.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
Listen,
and we didn't say a word.
Listen, just hire Little Nas X or Randy or
Trick Daddy.
See, this is why college students can't get anything. Because there was a comedian who said that they don't perform at like when colleges ask them. I believe it was Adam Sandler who said that he doesn't do colleges for performances because every time like it's always an issue about one of the jokes that's told or how it offended somebody or whatever the case may be.
Just hire Lauryn Hill. She ain't gonna come anyway. Rest in peace to John Kirby, Nintendo lawyer and namesake of the famed game character. He died at age 79. No jokes there. Kirby was a super dope character in a very unique game at the time. I had no idea that it was actually named after somebody. And I mean, to live a long and fruitful life and be immortalized in a character. That's dope. You know, rest in peace to him and much love to his family. We have another trailer, and we're not going to play it just yet. We're going to roll right into our mid-card topic, and we'll play the trailer a little bit later in the conversation because I kind of want to. I just want to roll right into it. Martin Scorsese. Now, I'm a big fan of Martin. His work is, I mean, Goodfellas
speaks for itself.
Yeah, I mean, Goodfellas is on my top 3 of all-time movies. It literally, as far as directors are concerned, it's Spike Lee, Tarantino, Scorsese for me. Spielberg is in my top 5, but yeah. But here's my problem. Martin Scorsese, he said that superhero movies are like going to an amusement park. They're not real cinema. Sam Jackson, a signified monkey's uncle, he said not everybody likes Martin Scorsese's films either.
Ooh, burn!
Clap back.
So the clap back has already been issued by Uncle Sam. Let's discuss. When we talk about Endgame, when we talk about the original Batmans, when we talk about a lot of comic book movies, I would consider what we used to call popcorn flicks, and they're not. Some are meant. Only recently have they really delved into dark recesses like Joker, like the Nolan series of Batmans, like Man of Steel. I think Man of Steel, I mean, that was the first time we saw Superman kill somebody. He broke that bull's neck. You start getting into the seriousness of certain Spider-Man stories. I think there's real drama there. But what do you guys think as far as the balance between true cinema? Because first, let me set the stage. What do you consider true cinema?
Yeah, that's what I was about to ask. Is I wonder what he considers to be true cinema, because to say that like comic book movies don't fit under that category of being real cinema makes no sense to me, because when you really look at all of it, none of it's real. Like all of it, or for some of it can be real, like if it's based off of true events or a true story. But for the most part, like all films are not based off of true events. They're based off of like an idea that someone came up with or took from another story and retold in their own way. So I don't get how a comic book is any different, because the thing is, somebody sat there and took their time and their ideas and opinions and then used real life scenarios or situations to form this story. So what's the difference?
Like, yeah, that goes to that argument that comic books aren't real books.
Yeah.
And it's like, who asked you?
Because I mean, a lot of people will attribute comic books to helping them have a love for reading.
Yeah.
And I don't know about you, but there are those movies that I don't want to think. I don't want to learn about the nuances.
Yeah, but like that doesn't make it like what his idea of cinema is very narrow. And then I'm like, for somebody who don't even really class back people in their movies, I don't really care what he had to say.
Yeah, like, see, all of these old grandpas full of hot air, like, projecting their ideas on what's right and what's not.
He like that old guy yelling from his porch, "Get off my lawn."
Yeah, like that old guy who's been having the same routine all his life. And the moment that new coffee shop opens up, that Starbucks up the street, he's like, "Oh boy, look at these little kids bringing in all of this new crap into my neighborhood." Like,
right. And then comic book movies have evolved over time. Like, they're winning awards now. Being nominated for
the number one movie in the world, the highest grossing, is Endgame.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just say this. I love what Mary says. Mary Popo always gives insightful comments. By the way, Mary, follow us on Instagram or I'm deleting you.
She does.
Don't make me block you. Mary.
She does, and her media company, Anecdote Media.
No. Let me, Mary. Look at my eyes. Look at my. I'm looking right at you. I'm looking into your soul. Don't make me turn into the magical Negro.
Oh God.
In 2019, why are we still having the "Can Superheroes Be Art" thing? Superheroes are our modern mythical heroes. The classic Greek heroes of our time. The superhero cinematic universe is, at present, unprecedented. The movies are well written, acted, and edited. They are technically proficient. We're only saying this because this is based on a comic book, which is for, as we know, for children. Mm-hmm. I read that well. Anyway, but I agree with her whole heart. I have always held to comic books are our folklore. I'm telling you, one day, if the earth lasts long enough, there's going to be a shrine somewhere on Earth of Superman, and they're going to think he was an actual god back in his time.
The same way we think of like Hercules and Achilles as being like real people. Like, they're not like, that's not cinema just because you don't like it, because you think that it's like overblown.
He looks like an old grandpa. Like,
why you keep doing? What's wrong with old people?
The old parts of South Philly.
You know what?
I'm going to keep the rest of the opinions to myself, but I see exactly why he said.
No, because Joe brought up a good point. Maybe he's getting scared they might take away awards from him. Now that's solid, because here's the thing: to come up with it now to play devil's advocate, you come up with this original playwright, you put this great masterful movie together, and then honestly, you can put the Widowers. Mm-hmm. Remember we were talking about that, how great of a movie that was, but it wasn't supported. The one with what's my girl from not Octavia Smith, but
not Octavia Spencer. You mean
Spencer? You know what? Look, you know your job is to know the names. The one from How to Get Away from Murder.
Viola Davis.
Viola Davis.
Yeah.
Remember she with all the widowers of the criminal. Yeah. That was a great movie, a great original script with all women as leads, and it was grossly undersupported. Solid movie, original movie. You didn't support it. What you did go support, though, was every crap superhero movie. Now, here's what I mean by crap superhero movie. Endgame is the bar, right? Let's not front like Ant-Man wasn't somewhere in there, and Thor's.
I didn't really see any of his either until they came out on like
but
Netflix
a lot of people,
or something.
But because it's in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, people feel obligated to go see a lot of that stuff. Even to the point where people even entertained Iron Fist season 1. I still to this day did. But see, that's what I mean. For some of us, we were like, okay, enough's enough. Don't give me garbage and try to make it palatable. Mm-hmm. But when it comes to what we consider true cinema, I think true cinema is what entertains and then possibly makes you
Please
think.
Tell me how Citizen Kane makes sense. Rosebud being a stupid wagon. Are you serious?
Have you ever seen Citizen Kane? No, I didn't think you did. You wouldn't have said that if you saw it.
No, because
here's why.
It's like a boring old movie.
But see, okay, so my best friend Addison is a movie fanatic from. I'm talking about, he's that dude that be like, well, back in 1920, they did this and blah, 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 blah.
To say that I don't like
and I'm not knocking it. Yeah. What I'm saying is, I refuse to watch anything in black and white.
It sounds boring.
No, seriously. But I even spoke to him about this, and he concurred. Look what Endgame did. Look at the range of emotions that you went through in Endgame. Look what Wolverine did.
Yeah.
No, Wolverine dying was one of the saddest. If comic books can evoke emotion within you to that level, that's real cinema.
Yeah, my favorite one was when Mary Jane died.
Yo, you forget about that.
And it was that little inch that she could have almost been saying,
Gwen Stacy.
that was
Gwen Stacy.
Gwen.
Ah,
I
see?
forgot.
She
comic
don't
books
like
not my
It's
thing.
okay.
But I
We
did
help
like
each
that
other.
movie, and that was my favorite part. I mean, some people will call me cruel for it, but it was just like dramatic how it was that 1 inch. Like if he would have just been a little bit faster and she didn't.
Yeah. No, the way the web goes out and it looks like fingers reaching out for her. Like that's art.
Thank you. Especially amongst the shattered clock and the glass.
Yeah.
And the best part is
the imagery.
And to that point, the
Like you
best scene is when it catches her and then you
she
realizes
clocked.
how
her
abrupt.
hand just was like
And we knew what happened, and we were all like,
was I too happy about that? I think I was too happy about that
really
part.
hyped
I look at that on slow motion, like from YouTube, where somebody went and put it in slow motion when she actually hit the ground.
I'll give you another one. When Spider-Man and Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man is holding back that train, and he's literally, the one where it look like he holding in a gas bubble, and he stops, and he's got his mask off, and everybody lifts him up and grabs him back, and they carry him, they lay him down, and they puts his mask back on. Stuff like that. That's cinema to me. Those are those moments where you either inspire, fear, love, cry, laugh, and when you can walk away from a movie experience and feel like you got your money's worth. Because trust me, comic books don't always hit the mark. X-Men 3, I stood up on the theater seat and booed the entire credits. Boo that man. I mean, I tried to start a riot in there because I couldn't believe how terrible that movie was.
Yeah, that always baffled me, like yesterday when I saw the Joker and everybody starts clapping at the end, including me. And then I had to stop for a minute, and I'm like, I know why I'm clapping. We'll talk about that later. But why are all of you still sitting here like, everybody clapping? I'm like, nobody's coming out like this is a play and going bow at the end. So who are we clapping to exactly? But everybody was just so into it.
Fanny Austin on the chat says, cinema is all about storytelling. And pretty much everything you put into your film, dialogue, props, lighting, a song, and even editing, the end. Honestly, that's just as simple as it can get. And I don't think we need to really delve any deeper into the rants of some sycophantic...
some old white man who feels like comic books are coming to take away his life.
Now, I will say this. I agree with you.
Yeah.
It is still Scorsese, though.
His movies is all right to me.
Can you please name some of his movies? I never really pay attention to who the producer is, so I don't know the director. Whatever.
No. Like they're good. The performances are always solid. To me, they're not like rewatchable.
Somebody name some of his greatest, like
Goodfellas.
Besides the goddamn mob movie that everybody talks about,
nigga, that's all his.
No. Taxi Driver is basically the original Joker. You have Raging Bull, which was Shutter Island, The Departed, The Wolf on Wall Street.
Shutter Island, yeah.
Mean Streets, Casino. Ugh. That was such a... Listen, let me tell you something.
These are all grown old men movies.
You know what? I'm done with y'all.
I don't know
Listen,
none of them.
can somebody over 30 please join the head nerds in charge to offset Sassy on these moments?
I'm over 30.
Yeah,
I thought you was younger than 30.
She said 31. Like, not all of them are like, because once I
No. Hold on. Now I'm gonna call you this. Now
you sit there with your whiskey and be like, back in the chair drinking.
Is that how you drink?
The lights off, smoking.
Who's drinking whiskey like? Who's drinking whiskey like this?
Cape Fear. I like Cape Fear. I like Cape Fear. I like Shutter Island.
Hold on.
Goodfellas
No. Shutter Island, rewatchable. Wolf on Wall Street, definitely rewatchable.
I didn't see that one.
The Departed, you have to watch more than once. Casino, I watch that every time it comes on. Mean Streets, Goodfellas. It's in my top 3 of all time movies.
By a lot of his more recent movies, they're all like mob based.
And by the way, for those, I mean, don't get me wrong, Martin Scorsese, you get Donkey of the Day for that comment, but well, noob of the day. That's fine. I like that. Noob of the day. Noob of the day.
It's our noob of the week is what we had before.
Oh, is that what we did? We stopped doing that. Why did we stop doing that? There's plenty of noobs out there.
There's enough newbie people in the world to go around. Now it's almost
we'll bring noob of the week back. But he's got a new movie coming out called The Irishman. He's got Pacino, De Niro, Pesci.
Another Irish gangster movie.
You know what,
so original.
I can't do this with y'all.
I'm sure it's going to be great.
Obviously, there's a difference of opinion of what's true cinema, but what we all can agree is
another Scorsese film with no dark faces in it.
And my man Shan in the back said it best. There's no such thing as true cinema, because cinema is true to whoever it is. It's a perceptionary thing. It's what you enjoy. Because guess what? If you enjoy Dolomite in theaters right now, let me tell you something. We're going to have a full Dolomite review posted tomorrow. We're not going to do it live in show, but I just want to give you this tidbit. One of the funniest movies to see in the theater. I don't know how it's going to translate to you watching it at home on Netflix.
I feel like that's the kind of movie you need a watch party, because funny movies like that, I find I don't enjoy them much when I watch them by myself.
I don't laugh at comedies too much when I'm by myself. I'm amused by them.
Oh yeah.
But it's funnier when you have some treats that are edible and be able to sit and enjoy it. I'm just saying some edible treats to be able to enjoy amongst.
Addison told me some Thai tough down to force her to watch 2 decades of Scorsese films.
Well, you had her at Thai Tef down, so you know that's a twist.
First of all,
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to tell you.
We're no kink shaming.
Don't kink shame me.
I didn't kink shame you. I laud you.
2. Oh well, kink praising.
I can't kink praise. Yeah, she likes to get tied. Never mind.
2, if you want to tie me down, we better not be watching no damn movie.
Unless it's their movie.
Demetrius, if you're watching right now, this is why we needed Bryce to leave.
He did pop in the
This is why we needed Bryce to leave before we can have these conversations. Martin Scorsese, get up out of here, bro. We're going to go and we're going to play the trailer for something 6. What was it called?
6 Underground.
6 Underground. Here's the trailer for 6 Underground. When we come back, we're going to close out the show with our final topic, the Joker.
How's it going over there?
You're really ruining my flow right now, you know that?
We got an issue. His movement, man.
We have 15 minutes.
It's time.
Hit it.
Hello, boys.
What if I told you, I know what happens when you die? You become a ghost.
No more criminal records.
No more office parties. Or stupid weddings.
The best part of being dead is the freedom. No policies or politics.
No one touch. He's mine.
We answer to no one. You could take out some truly evil people.
He's stuck at the stairwell.
Guys, I got a bad idea.
Don't have bad ideas, I have good ideas.
declare the day.
None of us will be remembered. What's about to happen will.
Good things when you raise the bad ones, right?
Who the hell are you?
We're no one.
If they exist, they can be made not to.
Bobby, they have fighter jets! You see that? Yes! You see that?
Sorry for yelling. Welcome to the world's biggest magnet.
Are you out of your mind?
Grenade! Oh!
I wasn't sure it would work. I mean, I wasn't sure. I had a suspicion, but this is all so fucking dangerous.
All right. Now this is, oof. Listen, I got to take the crown off of this one because this is the conversation I've been waiting to have since this movie came out.
Oh, really?
Let's first do a check-in. Tef, you saw it.
Yes.
Sash, you saw it.
Yes.
Don the Magic Wand on the Wheels of Steel. Did you see it?
Oh, yes.
All right, we got Don in the back. He saw it. Many of you saw it, so I'm going to give you a heads up. Spoiler alert. We're about to ruin it for some people. We're going to allow people to run out the room now. Go, Nick, you better go. Because we about to get Look, Nick's getting out of here because he don't want to mess it up for himself. Listen, that's my man, Nick. He came through to kind of check some of our sound and make sure we sounded good and crispy. We really appreciate Nick. He's one of also the cosplayers that are supported and sponsored by us. Super dope guy, volunteer fireman, fire person. I want to make sure I use my proper pronouns. And just all around good dude. I'm glad he got up out of here because we about to tear this thing up.
Joseph Bruno told me something not yet. You
Yeah,
might want to check
just
out.
Yeah, no. Seriously.
Go, Joe, go.
Listen, this is it. We well past a week. This is full spoilers. We about to get into the nitty gritty because the Joker changed the game, in my opinion, when it comes to comic book movies. Dark Knight, Nolan's, the entire Dark Knight, Batman Begins, Dark Knight, and Batman Returns. What was the last one called? Dark Knight Returns. Was it Dark Knight Returns or Batman Returns? I think it was Dark Knight Returns. It doesn't matter. Either way, Nolan set the tone. Place these characters in the real world, give them real world motivations, real world backstories, make it plausible in our world. Joker took it to another level and turned a mirror on society and said, we didn't need to drop him in a vat of chemicals. All we had to do was immerse him into a world that we currently live in. And we did a full review. I did a full review on the Joker. And I'm just going to say this one scene that really took me aback, because when I finally watched the movie and took a step back, what scared me the most about this theater is that every active shooter that I've seen in the news, every person who's gone off the deep end, every person who cries for help and doesn't get it in our society could end up being an Arthur Fleck.
I have feelings about that. You do.
All right, talk to me, because
go ahead.
No, because there's been a range of emotions. Yeah. Like some people, we're a Blurred Talk radio show, so some people were like, "Oh, great, another movie that gives excuses for white men going crazy because things aren't going right in their life." That was one.
No, I will say people are like, it's this one man's descent into madness. What you fail to realize, this character is already mad. Like, he's already like there.
You think this? Wait, you think that this character?
First of all, he's in therapy, like not the opening scene, but he's speaking to like a social therapist. He's already been institutionalized. She makes the comment. He's on 7 different medications for his condition. He's not someone's descent, and it's not so much his descent into madness as his final acceptance of it and reveling in who he believes that he is and who he was always meant to be. It's not a sane person going crazy. It's somebody who's barely holding on, finally letting go and being like, it is what the fuck it is.
Okay. I agree and disagree. Yeah, but Sass, I'm gonna let you go because I'm formulating my thoughts. And she took out one F-bomb, so I can't use it.
You said go at whatever. So for me, like I agree and I disagree at the same time because I definitely agree. So we can agree on the fact that he already, like you said, he was institutionalized already. Now he's trying to like get rehabilitated and stay on track with the medications and everything that he was given. But the thing is that I see and all of that is the fact that he put his best foot forward and was doing what he needed to do to stay on track. But when everything finally cracked was when he fell into a situation that I watch happen every day from me working in the health field with behavioral health, is that people end up running into situations to where they don't have insurance anymore. And luckily, the place I work for is somewhere that supports people like that, because as long as you come to us for primary care, then we can support you far as with your medications and everything for BH, because we have that. But there's not a lot of facilities like that around, like up in cities.
So
and
I don't want to give the impression that like, because like I said, it was weird for me in a way, because like I said, coming from a healthcare background and working in insurance and stuff like that, I totally saw and understood where society and where the government and everything definitely failed this character. I just feel like he didn't seek out an alternative, and maybe that's due in part to the fact that other people wasn't like, hey, don't give up hope.
Right.
But he didn't do anything where, at that point, like once his medication wore off, he was like, this is fine.
Okay, so I formulated my thoughts. I've allowed you to pontificate with your viewpoints. And I think it's now time for my retort.
Oh, goodness.
I'm going to put my crown back on because the king is about to speak. Here is why I think this is a movie in totality about the descent into madness. Because though we come at the crux of where he's at his tipping point, just before it, because obviously we get to see these series of events, getting beat up, having to sign, make him lose pay. Guy gives him a gun, drops gun in school. In the hospital. Nobody believes him. Yeah. He gets fired. Mom needs money. Finds out, mom's been writing Thomas Wayne again, and this, that, and the third. And then there's this cascading series of events. But then, even though it's not shown cinematically, he backfills the story at the end where he says the descent into madness. There's points where you're like, oh, well, he was always thrown off. Not true. No, his laugh is a condition because he was abused as a child. That boyfriend that his mother allowed in beat him so badly, it gave him a brain disorder that caused him to have some people have a twitch, some people have a nervous reaction.
That's a real disorder.
Right, and and he studied that to be able to develop his laugh. Joaquin Phoenix, I said his name right.
Finally.
Yay!
But my thing is, here's why I still say it's a descent into madness, because though it's not a linear story of it, but when we find out that he was abused as a child, both physically and it alluded to sexually, then we find out, okay, he wasn't born with this disorder like they they told him he was lied to. Then you find out, wait a minute, I was adopted, allegedly, because there's an Easter egg in there when he's painting his face and he turns that picture over and it says TW in the corner, I love your smile. That was from Thomas Wayne. So it's the movie left it open as to whether or not, and this is where it gets deep for me because I just had this conversation. It's about to get real deep for me because think about this. This man reached his tipping point once he found out all his backstory. He said consistently, I never had one happy day, but I was always told to smile. So he's been putting on this facade, this veneer from day one. What do we do in society every single day? Every single day, we go through our ups and downs and this, that, and the third. We're taught to smile or act civilized through all of it.
When you work in customer service, you forced every day to
the thought process.
Unite.
The thought process that the customer is always right is literally telling somebody smile through the BS.
Mm-hmm.
So we all go through those little idiosyncrasies every day, but we don't have a medical condition that helps us to a tipping point, which he never had. He never had a medical condition. That was beat. It was the society. It was Gotham. That's why in my review I said, was Joker the villain or was Gotham the villain? Because it seemed like the city did more damage and caused more problems to develop him into the Joker than he did. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, we then find. Oh, hold on, let me see. Hassan Warren said Thomas Wayne's love child attempts to burn down Gotham City. That's basically what we're breaking down on. Listen, the city failed this man every step of the way.
Input on that too when you finish.
All right, no, I'm about to wrap it up right now.
Well,
go ahead.
no, because when you said, for instance, what was it exactly? Now I'm thinking, okay, far as the mental disorder thing that it was beaten into him, but then I'm wondering too, what if it's still been present because it's genetic sometimes when you
his mom
was crazy.
His mom wasn't his mother.
Well, oh yeah, you know what? And then we found that part out.
Right, it's got nothing to do with genetics.
But we don't really know where he came from, so we can't still cancel it out though.
But we can't say
we can't say 100% because we don't know that. But,
listen, the director left it open to we don't know whether or not he's adopted or not. But I do know this because of the lie or the revelation of that adoption backstory, which I could see a rich white man trying to cover up his love child and faking all.
Random woman that was just
whether it's Thomas Wayne that caused it or his mother was in lunacy, he killed her.
Yeah,
he killed. So either she angered him to the point where he took her life, or he took her life and she was actually right, which is worse.
Yeah,
because now that plunges. Imagine thinking the one person that you've been taking care of all your life did you dirty. You take her life, then you figure out later on, holy crap.
I don't think it matters.
That's gonna suck for him, but
I don't think it matters.
I think it does matter.
Not historically to his character. His character is always.
But his character's not based on DC.
Yes, it is.
No, they said that this Joker character was.
They said it's not canon to the current DC universe. That doesn't mean it's not based off of the existing character. That's not the same.
What backstory?
I think it doesn't matter because she needed to be going.
No.
Her life
outside of killing Thomas and Martha Wayne in Crime Alley, that's the only thing that was really taken from the Joker backstory. Every other backstory had him dropping into a vat of chemicals, or even then when he was the Red Hood. This wasn't based on any canon. Tell me which Joker story is this? Because I read The Killing Joke. Okay, then that's what I mean. It's not canon. It's not canon to any comic book story. This is a new original story.
No movie is ever really canon, like complete 100%.
No, the Batman 1980 series dropped him in a vat of chemicals. That is the Joker's origin story.
But he was already crazy before that.
He was a gangster. Yeah. He was a gangster, not necessarily crazy.
No, and he's not from Gotham either, which was weird.
Why y'all always have me like your child sitting in the middle, daddy having a bigger moment, and I'm just like.
All right,
I don't know.
No. All right, let's get some input from the group because Hassan Warren says the movie made me think of this Joker quote: "All it takes is one bad day to reduce the sanest man alive to lunacy." I put that in. Listen, All it takes. This is why there were so many Killing Joke comparisons, because there was the comedian, the fact that he was a comedian, and like I said, there are 4 types of Jokers. There's the clown Joker, which was Cesar Romero's Joker, or the laughing, playful Joker. There's the gangster Joker, which is Jack Nicholson's Joker, which is the Tommy gun wielding mafioso guy. There's the anarchist Joker, which is Heath Ledger's Joker, who's I'll turn societies back on itself and let them eat each other. There's the psychopath Joker, which was Leto's Joker, and you've seen him in the comic books with the shaved head and whatnot. And mind you, they also brought out in the Gotham series the Joker that cut his face off, and Mark Hamill's animated Joker. This was the comedian Joker from The Killing Joke. That's what I felt.
Which I honestly can say at this point, before I never had an answer when people used to ask me about like which one was my favorite one, but now I have an answer because he was my favorite one so far, because it was relatable to people in my life that I see every day, and people that I've dealt with in relationships and seen things similar to stuff that he's going through, that all I could do was sit and be like, but why? Until I started getting deeper into the like mental health field of how that stuff actually works. And it's sad. And I was happy for him when he finally, all of those people that he felt like he needed to get back, and he got them back. I was like,
and here's the thing. Here's the conversation I had. Yo, Steve, I told you I would shout you out. My man Steve Greenlee, big comic book fan. Me and him had a deep conversation about it. Steve has a law enforcement background, and he kicked some things to me that we had to go back and watch some of the trailer. And he's like, you don't notice that you see the personality shift and his physiological habits change. Go back and actually go watch this. In the beginning of the movie, he's writing in his notebook with his right hand. He's smoking his cigarette with his right hand. When he writes and he does his his scribble that's insane, he does it with his right hand. When he writes his comedy, it's with left. He smokes with his left. When he's in his same frame of mind, he's operating off of 2 different personalities. And then it's not until the psychotic break where he kills the big dude that took his gun.
Gave him the gun?
Gave him the gun. And he's like, you knew he had a psychotic break because he no longer cared. He let the other witness go. He was like, you were always nice to me, so you can get up out of here, which was one of the most hilarious moments.
I love that. He was like on doomed.
He was like a rat.
Or when he jumped at him when he walked by and he swore out he was about to die. That would have been me.
Now here's the thing that me and him disagreed on. Now, he said he had no presence of self-preservation at that point. That shows he was insane. I said, no. The problem is with Joker. Joker has always been good at making you think he's crazy, but also being a very tactical person. I said, remember, what was Joker's original plan? Joker was going to go on the show, sit back, start this conversation, take the gun, blow his head off, cause a huge national scene. That's why he wrote in his book, Let My Death Mean More Than My, I forget how he wrote it, but
Okay, so I'm not the only one that thought that was how that was going to go.
It was supposed to go down like that until Robert De Niro started popping fly. And then he said, sounds like a lot of self-pity in that. And Joker was like, nigga, what? and here's the part that blows my mind. What hand did he blow him away with? The left.
Oh.
And Steve hit that to me. He said he didn't point and shoot. He pulled, and then by that time, that's when you know the Joker is here now. Now, I said a lot. Did any of that really happen?
Yeah, I was wondering that too. Like, did it? Because it was stuff that didn't. Like, for instance, his love interest situation, and I was kind of questioning
Hold on.
that.
I'm sorry, Joe just dropped the gem. He said left brain is analytical, right brain is creative. Ugh. So that means he was in his right frame of mind when he shot the ball. I don't care. It works with my theory. Mary Poppel said it was technically based on The Killing Joke and A Man Who Laughs. Right. Yeah, I agree, Mary. I thought I saw too many key points that were that caused that semblance. Now, before we talk about whether or not it really happened, because I think that's what we'll close out with.
Yeah.
How did y'all feel about how he treated black women in that movie? Because that was a big issue.
You want to go
coming
first,
out of the?
or you want me to go first? So, my thing is that I didn't really like. I don't see what the. I'm pretty sure people had some good points, but I didn't really see what the issue was. If anything, I was glad that it was just a fantasy because of the fact that she had a kid. And I was kind of questioning that because I'm like, this guy looks suspect to me. Like, if he came up to me, and if I found out he was following me, I'm not going to come up to you and be like, would you follow me? Let's go on a date. No, I'm going to be like, stay away from, I would be filing a report against him.
Yeah, I thought that, I was like, really, this the whole...
You got a daughter and you just going to let him come in your house.
But y'all know, but then when you found out that was a delusion in his own mind.
I was relieved.
Yeah, me too. I was definitely
But remember, the person who he showed animosity to was his original therapist. What was she?
She was black.
The woman he...
Or was she?
Hold on. All right, come on. The person he had delusions and stalked was black, and the woman he killed at the end.
So, did he kill her, though?
Okay, so...
but can...
And was that the same lady as the original therapist person?
No, it's not.
She looked like...
For those that are just tuning in, we're talking Joker spoilers. So if you ain't seen the movie, we had already ruined it for you. But Tef, go ahead. What were you about to say?
So Mary's like, you were rolling your eyes so hard. So I had a problem with the representation of black women in this movie because they, like, when you kind of lay them out in the line, there's his social worker who's the therapist, and she seems sort of like, I guess she comes off like as aloof or ambivalent, like she's not really there for him. From his perspective, she's not really trying to help him, whether that's true or not. That's his perspective. Then there's the black mother who's on the bus, and he's like, who her son turns to engage him, but she's like, stop bothering my son.
I didn't think about that one. Yeah.
Then there's Zazie Beetz' character, who is another, like, first of all these single mothers, who is a single mother.
Ain't a father in sight.
Yeah. Right.
But I mean,
so then there's Zazie Beetz' character, who kind of like makes a joke, like engages him in a light fashion, and he becomes obsessed with her. And then there's the black therapist in Arkham, like at the end, whose fate is undetermined. So
she dead.
Yeah, she is.
She dead.
Like, that was funny. Though.
She dead. Anytime you leave a blood trail, she dead.
There's these these 4 women, all painted in like a matronly, like mother, like type role, like either in the way that they dress or the roles that they
very
roles
mammy-ish.
that they portray, right? In this way, and they're supposed to be here in this way to coddle and support this character.
You crazy white man.
Exactly. So, and I thought that was really indicative of one. It was really indicative of like this mammy trope and the way that like. People in like political spectrums play us for the black vote. Like, stop expecting black women to come save you. Black women are not here as your doormat, like as your chair. We're supposed to be here. Like, we're our own people with our own motivations and our own like goals. Like his black therapist, like, yeah, his social program got cut and that was awful for him. Here's a woman who just lost her fucking job. She lost her job. That black mother on the bus, now I didn't agree with the scene. I was like, really, sis? Like, damn, calm down. But she's on public transportation with her son, and she don't know what this crazy fool who just bust out laughing out of nowhere like is doing. She like, oh, good God. And then Zazie Beetz' character, who he obsesses and like fetishizes for like a good 45 minutes of the movie, and she's like, yo, what? She didn't want no parts of that.
Well, he broke into her home, scared her. And that was the spoiler alert. that's when she was like, ain't you the ball from down the way?
Right. Can I call your mom? Like, where is she? Like,
Mom's dead.
How do I help you? But she, again,
not only is mom dead, but I got another body that I'm about to put in this room as soon as they come over.
But again, she was, how do I help you? Like, are you lost? Do you need something? Here she is trying to cater to him, and then his black therapist at the end who's like, okay, like you're here and like this is what's going to happen to you now, and he may have killed her for her efforts.
Right.
So black women.
Yeah, we don't know what he just because he sexualized it doesn't mean that he wasn't. Well, look what he did to Harley Quinn. Well, I mean, not that it's canon, but
no. But so I had a problem with that because it's like black women are not
Solid.
here to like save the day for you. You got to save your damn self. Which, and again, I know people who are schizophrenic who have mental defects, and it's like you have to want help. You have to know you are better with help. Yes, his social program got cut, but there's other ones out there. Arthur accepted his madness, and that he, like I said, he was somebody who maybe barely had his head above water, but he didn't reach out for help. He didn't try and like get other help like outside of that. He just sort of was like, I'm here now.
That stuff is bullshit. You know what?
They did say that they cut all the programs.
That stuff is annoying. Trying to find a new therapist. Like I used to say that,
but we don't have to get into the logistics of real life trying to find a therapist.
And I've had it happen to me. It is hard, but what do you sit back and be like, oh well, I guess this is me now, I'm just about to go out and do
it
like
depends.
what it is.
Now, and you know what? It wasn't until you added in the mother on the bus. You're right. There was a lot of negative connotation with African American women throughout that entire movie. And honestly, the real villain ended up either being his mother or now I felt like Thomas Wayne represented capitalism at its finest.
I really like that because we only ever see Thomas Wayne from the perspective of his son, as being this great man, this great
philanthropist, right?
And I was like, that all of that is true, but like rich people do the dirtiest stuff. Like they give millions of dollars to charity,
the reason why they're rich,
and they take millions of dollars from other people,
right?
Like, and then also what I was actually talking to Mary about it. Like what a lot of people I found didn't necessarily pay attention to was the background of the movie with the sanitation strike.
What?
So you literally see piles of garbage everywhere.
Right. Well, when he was kicking that garbage,
the pile is taller than he is. So and it really like stuck out. It made it really poignant, like because it wasn't dark because there was no light. It was dark because it was obscured by all this filth.
And remember, and this is something that you don't get to have in the movie. We don't have smell-o-vision. But in the movie, it really, listen, have you ever been...
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, and to that point, like, he's surrounded by all this filth, and at the beginning of the movie, they play it like, really, the movie's not necessarily what they do to black women aside, it's more like a classism thing, because the poor people are really affected by the sanitation strike. There's a business owner who says, people can't come into my business because the trash is so piled up to the door, they can't even get the door open. Right. And then you have these, like care not like rich people who are like, oh yeah, the smell's a little bothersome, but it's whatever.
But see, whenever you're in an unsanitary condition, it automatically breeds contention. The city itself, that's why I go back to Joker was not the main villain in this. Joker was a pawn. Thomas Wayne was a pawn.
But he's not a hero either, which we want to...
I'm going to just say this. Look at Gotham and the way things played out. They already set the tone with the trash and the filth and the sanitation strike. You already had the hotbed of people who were fed up with this, why when three rich white guys were killed on a subway, trash people for attacking a woman. And on top of that, honestly, that's why Joker was a hero. And in my opinion, Joker was very much a hero. In my opinion, because unfortunately, Joker is every nerd, geek, kid that was... No, I'm sorry. He was every kid that's ever been bullied. Because of his condition, they picked on him and singled him out. And all he did was defend himself. Had he not ran and allowed himself to delve into the descent of his insanity and just said, I was attacked on that train and I defended myself. Now, here's where it gets funky. Number one, he'd still went to jail because those were rich people and Thomas Wayne takes care of the people who work for him. Number two, he murdered. We have a different definition of murder because he defended himself in the beginning. Then he took it too far. To me, you start don't start nothing, won't be nothing. I'm just saying, he popped one ball twice in the chest. He popped the other ball, hit the other dude in the leg. Once he went to go chase after that man and in his life, that last one was murder to me.
Yeah, and let me say this, because I do get both ends. I know that for you, Tough, you don't want people, because that's what I was saying at first when it first started up. And I noticed that when he wasn't taking his medication, that's when he felt like he was more comfortable with himself. I didn't want people to have to take away from that to be that, oh, if you stop taking your medication and everything's going to be cool, because that's not okay either. Right. But then at the same token, there's stuff that's relatable in it too. But really the real takeaway in this whole country when it comes to media and things that are made in general, don't let media and movies and music guide your kids and their decisions, and people and just adults, don't let that guide you either, because that's not really adult to be looking at something and be like, oh, that's how I'm gonna live my life just because you saw that on TV or whatever.
Unless you're watching a Head Nerds in Charge, then you should do everything we tell you to do, especially when it comes to giving us Cash App donations.
Except for that, that's very adult to support black businesses. So please continue doing that.
Fact. Shannon made a good point in the chat. He said, should Joker be humanized? I mean, if we look at the Joker's lore, historically, did we need this, or did we want to see him in all his psychopathic glory? And he said, I vote the latter. You go to a Joker movie to see Joker go crazy and to see how low he gets into his insanity and what his maniacal plan is. Everybody knew what the end result would be. We just didn't know how it would come.
Was like,
listen,
I'm sorry.
When he stands on top of that car and he takes the accolades from those people, Ted, what's the matter?
I didn't like it because he becomes this symbol for the little man, which, in my opinion, he was not. He didn't do what he did for this like super altruistic reason. No. He wasn't there for those people, and they raised him up as a symbol, and like the whole Messiah imagery was like really disturbing to me, because it was like, you people don't even know what he's done and what his and like the darkness.
But he didn't ask for it though. He
denied. You're trying to make me feel like I'm kind of dark, because what did he do? He killed a man that lied on him. Tried to hold on.
Did he deserve to die because he lied on him?
He's fictional, so I don't care. Yes, he did.
Is a lie worth his life?
Because hold on. Because of his lie, it led to the result of his mother's death. Him taking his mother's life. Now, I didn't say that it was just a. I didn't.
You know how many times I look at people like that though? I look at people like that in movies all the time, and I be like, why can't I just kill this person? And then he did it for me already, so he gave me what I wanted the whole time.
Okay, I'm glad you said it, because I was ready to off that nigga after he lied.
Movies and thrillers, gore.
Yeah, when he was on the way out, when he was on the way out, and he tried to pop fly, when he was like, "What you say?" He said, "Oh, I forgot to punch out." And he smacked the clock. I was like, you should have smacked that nigga in his mouth.
I know.
Listen, I'm sorry. I come from a neighborhood where lies can cause bodies. I'm sorry. You.
I'm not being too deep for you.
Listen, how many times have we seen somebody lose their job and then they jump out of a window? And we think, oh, it was just a job. But the livelihood, the ability to care for his family. He was his sole provider for his mother. I'm sorry. When you mess with, he was already fragile. That was the only bit of family he had, and because he now wasn't able.
But he didn't kill his mother because he lost his job. He killed his mother because she was a terrible person and allowed him to be abused.
Oh, do we? Was she? That's the point. But that's
what he believes. That's his perspective.
No, that was his perspective at the time, because that's what the knowledge that he had. But as he got educated with it flip-flop, and this whole movie was about flip-flopping. Yeah, like my man,
I was confused.
Look, like Pop said in Vampire Goes Bullock, he flip-flopper. He did a flip-flop.
No, and again, when he goes,
you see the Wolfman to the 25th power.
When he goes to get his mother's medical record, I felt like that was an opportunity for him to get help, because the black guy says to him like, yo, I think you should talk to somebody. And rather than take a step back in that moment, he doubles down on his own selfish motivation and goes.
That guy should be fired. You just reminded me of that life of working in healthcare. HIPAA. He broke HIPAA so hard. Why would you go get some records for somebody who don't have no kind of identification that they really who they said they are?
No.
And you just gonna whip them out there and start reading
Well, first of all,
personal information?
Let me tell you something. Y'all crack me up. I hope y'all are this sycophantic and of high moral ground when you have something going on in your life. Let me tell you something. That man did not know who his father was.
I'm not talking about Joker. I'm talking about the record keeper. I didn't know that, man.
No. Because my thing is, listen.
Paperboy bust.
Paperboy.
That's why he ain't got no job now. Well, he about that.
He was high, at the time anyway. But that's my problem. No, you can't. And I agree with Shannon. There's a fine line with sympathizing and humanizing the Joker, but they did it for me because. I don't know about you, but Mama, if you've ever been a child that wanted to know who your parents were, if you ever a child who now you don't know if I need to know if I'm the heir to the Thomas Wayne wealth. Forget that. I'm trying to get paid.
But he wasn't trying to get paid.
What? No. I'm talking about me, my motivation. I'm taking that folder too. But for him, all he wanted was the validation of being a human being. The entire movie was him wanting to be validated as a human being. And he wanted to go on stage and do it. And it didn't happen. He wanted to do his job as a clown and entertain children. He dropped the gun in the hospital. Not the smartest thing to do, Arthur. In the entire movie, every time he tried to get any form of warmth, it was smacked back in his face. I'm sorry, but I've seen cold-hearted, cold-blooded killers in real life. And a lot of them come from abused and broken homes. And until you're abused...
And how many people come from abused and broken homes and don't?
Well, that's
just like they don't. No, they. I'm sorry, because we about to go in. They don't do it the way he did it. But the same little girl who you say, oh, why she so hot out in the streets? That's just the way she chose to cope with it. She might not be taking lives, but she's destroying her life. Whether it's be that drug dealer, this Kensington is full of Arthur Flecks.
There's reasons for everything that happens in life, and I know we don't like to accept that fact as human beings, but
excuse is not the same thing.
Yeah, but that's what everybody calls it is an excuse, and it's not an excuse in my opinion. It's a reason. It's logic.
No, I'm not saying like that he didn't have like legit reasons that his character doesn't suffer, but it wasn't no Greek tragedy, and he's definitely not no modern anti-hero. Like, y'all need to stop.
No, I'm with it. So. I'm Team Joker all the way.
Yeah, I am.
I'm with it. I'm Team Joker. I'm sorry.
But you can have your opinion. Everybody else don't have to be on board with it, though. Some people are, though. You got people who's rooting for your opinion too.
Whoop whoop.
What? Calm down.
I like when Sassy gets sassy. No, y'all, listen. We all have our varying opinions, and that's cool. I feel like the Joker has always been a true villain for Batman, and that's all we've ever known. Mm-hmm. Even when I read The Killing Joke, you did. Have you read The Killing Joke?
Me neither.
I know. Listen, let me tell you something. They humanized Joker a whole lot longer before this movie ever came out. I implore you, read The Killing Joke. It is one of the saddest, tragic things. The Joker had a whole... It's different from this, but the Joker had a real family, like a wife. And how it plays out and how he ends up being the Joker... You don't blame him. You just don't blame him. And that's why I looked forward to this movie. So, Tef, I might be more biased towards taking on the anti-hero trope because I know what made the Joker both in the comic book world and in this movie.
I'm anti-people hurting other people because you hurt.
I agree. I agree 100%.
Like,
in theory. But I'm sorry. I'm not hugging my son's killer.
Yeah, no, I mean...
I
mean,
judge.
And I say, and on that topic,
just a quick question. The next time you see Joker in a Batman film, and he's
Shammy, what?
he's Psycho Joker, right?
Right.
And he's about to kill or has killed some innocents.
Since now he's a villain.
How does that change your perspective of it? Does this movie or even The Killing Joke change your perspective and your perception of his role in that universe as an adversary to Batman?
No, he's still a bad guy.
Because I'm separating that whole.
I can be sympathetic. Listen, let me tell you something. Those columns. Here's the thing. I've done that in real life. Oh, I don't even want to get into that because this is really political. But I would just say this: there are people in the news. There are people in the news right now. I work with vets. I work with real down and gritty Marines, hardcore trained murderers, and I don't want to say murderers. People who sacrifice their humanity for this country, and they are willing to take a life so you can have your freedom. And those people do not get the mental care or the health care. But guess what? When a Marine stands at the top of a tower and he takes his rifle and he does what he's trained to do, he's a bad guy, right? He's a bad guy because taking lives is wrong. You trained him to do this. You trained him. You took his humanity. You took him and you said, this is your civil duty for your country. But now that you're back in civilization, you got to turn this off. The Joker, to me, is no different. He had PTSD. He was abused as a child. He was beat consistently to the point where he had a mental disorder where now he will be irrevocably changed, that he can never match his emotion to his faith because he laughs inexplicably. So he'll always be ostracized all his life. Gotham trained him to be that way. So that when it finally crescendoed to the point where he couldn't do anymore, and he reached the end of his rope, it beat him down. They almost took their life, and then he saved his own, but he's still a villain? Heck no. If you're going to off him out, then go all in. But I'm telling you right now, you come from my family, I'm going to shoot you, nigga.
I'm done with you. You going to say something if you come from my family, though. I just wish, like, in general, like, I wish that somehow, and I know this is never going to happen because that's very inhumane. Like, society will never function that way. But I just wish that when people had their own way of how they choose to handle things or deal with things, or like you mentioned, a woman who hugged the killer or whatever.
Right.
That's that woman's or the brother or whoever. Like, that's their way of how they want to go.
And that's fine. I just want to say
that was an act of forgiveness.
Yeah, but the
I'm okay with that.
Forgiveness is not for the other person. Forgiveness is for you.
And the thing is, if that's how you feel like on the inside, that's how you want to deal with it, I just wish it didn't have to be publicly to where everybody, okay, you see this person is grieving and you care apparently about this person's grieving, but then in the same breath you think it's okay to publicly slander because they didn't deal with it the way you wanted, so you publicly humiliate them, add on to
Did you
their
see what that
judge
that judge just recently she said?
Oh, she doubled down. She was like, nobody would care if I hugged her.
It was a black woman, yeah. And that honestly, I mean, and please don't get King Kurt Live misconstrued. There's nothing. I'm all about love and compassion, and I think Tef really hit a poignant note when she said, "I am never an advocate for people hurting other people." I agree with you. I am about justice and parity and being fair, and there is recompense for the actions that were exacted on the Joker. Did the punishment fit the crime? No. Did they deserve something? Yes. Now, what would they deserve?
Robert De Niro's character deserved to die.
No, I don't. No. But I'll tell you this. Guess what? I tell you one thing. I bet you be careful teasing the next nigga.
Yeah,
listen.
You saw that, and it's like people don't learn until they see stuff happen.
Y'all better stop teasing these little crazy. Listen, if you.
I think it's like, oh, you think that's good?
Listen, at the end of the day,
he kept
no, you saw his producer in the background.
Yo, the producer knew what it was hitting for from jump. Yeah. And at the end of the day, Robert De Niro was another one of these villains who just wanted to up his ratings, to bring him on the show, to embarrass him and taunt him even further. He knew what it was hitting for. And the sad part is, the difference between why we like him and don't like him is because he didn't take his life. Because had he taken his life, he would have been this martyr. He would have been this symbolism for these people. And this is how Gotham drove him mad to take his own life. But instead, he took out the problem. To me, I'm not saying I'm team Batman.
I don't want people to do that in real life, but in movies, please do it as much as you like, if I've ever entertaining for me. I need more content like this. Please keep pushing it out because you don't give it to me enough. And then when I get it, I go off like I just did yesterday and be like, yeah, encore.
To every person I've ever bullied, please don't shoot me.
Just be the nice guy, like the little man.
I'm doing the best I can right now.
Little man showed us always be nice to the crazy person.
To round this out, and because we getting ready to sign off, because we'll run this Joker thing into the ground.
Yeah.
I just want final opinion on whether or not any of this was real by the end of it.
I don't know.
Tef, what do you think?
I'm gonna say yes.
You say it all was real, and then
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about you, Sass?
For the most part, I wanted to say it was because of the way it ended with him in the insane asylum or whatever, and them running after him. That was funny, by the way.
I love that.
I love that too. He did his little happy jig that he do after he kills somebody.
But I was like, did he kill her or did he hurt her? Because there's only blood on his sneakers and his hands are still cuffed.
He put his foot in the behind. That's what he did. And before I give my closing thought, Heath or Joaquin? Who's number one still?
Oh, I like Joaquin.
Over Heath?
Yeah, I just told you earlier. That's
I
used to not have an answer. I needed one that I could relate with, and I relate a little more. Like I haven't been through that, but from all that I've been through over the past couple of years,
I don't want you to stab me in the neck.
I'm not going. I live out my thoughts and angry fantasies through movies.
And Sassy, but that is the Joker gang. That's what they. Tef, Heath or Joaquin?
I don't think they're comparable in a way because both experiences, you see, what you're seeing is the same character, and Addison says this in the chat. What you are seeing is the same character at two different points of time.
So was Jack Nicholson, and we still compared him. Addison, shut up.
Now you going to tell him to shut up?
Yes,
you was just on the side.
Addison, you're sitting somewhere on this couch scratching yourself.
Now he gotta shut up.
No,
Addison, your friend a traitor. I hope you hear this.
I'm just saying we compare Romero, we compare Jack Nicholson, we compare Leto.
No, I don't. I consider him separate.
Yeah, poor Leto. Leto isn't even. He's not even in the conversation.
Yeah, his feelings probably hurt. Well, they are hurt. Actually, they are.
So you're not even going to make the distinction.
No. Well, to this point, because the Joker's not really my favorite villain. So to this point, up to before I saw this, Heath Ledger, in my opinion, gave the best performance, I guess, because but the movie in the whole is kind of what makes it. What happened in this movie was different, and because of what I feel are the social ramifications, I kind of like it less in that way.
Okay, I'm gonna end off with my final vote, my final note, and my final pick. I'm gonna take you down this little path, and it's gonna be. Oh, I know you didn't just.
On a damn soapbox.
Listen, no. I'm not. Listen, you spent 47 hours to give me a one-word answer.
Huey Freeman.
All right. If you go back in the movie to the therapist, she said, "Hey, do you want to go back to whatever asylum he was at before?" And that's where they flash back to him being in the asylum in a white padded room.
Oh yeah.
And he slammed his head against the wall. Remember that?
Comfortable, but yeah.
Now, what if everything was all in his mind?
Nigga, which one you like better, Heath or Joaquin?
That's not what. Because I didn't get my final thought. See, this is why he was killing all the black women. He keep running his mouth.
I'm done with you.
Listen, at the end of the day, the question that I had. Thank you, Sass. I appreciate that.
Sitting here well, then.
Well, you know, not everybody can appreciate
Why
my
did
insight.
you do that?
You got
Because-
as deep as a fucking like pothole puddle.
Sass, I'm glad you enjoy it. I'll tailor to you, sweetheart. If you go back and you see that he was in that white padded room before the movie even takes place, and then when you end it, you never saw him get arrested. As a matter of fact, he was freed by the Joker gang. How did he get caught? How did he end up back into the
Why
assassin?
did they just assume that was him in the first place to even drag him out
I'm
of the
pretty
car?
sure they-
Because I was wondering that, like, everybody was running around town with masks on and they identified him.
It ended with him and his delusion of grandeur being lauded. So it
Like,
put.
he wanted his attention. He always wanted that. And he finally, in his imagination, like with that girl and all of that and other stuff I was questioning, was he really on a TV show at first? Because he was dreaming about
Come
that
on,
too.
talk about it. Everything is about his grandeur. Everything is about him being praised. And it ends. And then at the end of it, he's right back in this padded room. And how did he break free?
Did he really kill that lady?
That's all I said. Sweet dreams, baby. Heath Ledger's still a goat, and Tef can get up out of here. We get ready. Sass, you got any? Look, I done ruined it for you. Good. I'm glad your head is exploding. I love it. I love it.
I'm gonna think about
If
this
I ruined
all
Joker
night.
for you, it's been a great day. Don, Heath or Joaquin? Wow. Really?
With no hesitation.
Wow. You Joaquin over Heath? Now I respect. You're a comic book fan. All right. Well, listen.
Say what he said before.
You know what? I don't know. Tef get one good run.
Yeah, no, Mary Popo said poor Sass is never gonna sleep again
Fact.
thinking about
My man
this.
Shannon
Yeah,
in chat saying he still reigns. Yeah, I still love. Yeah.
It doesn't matter to me how I like my Joker.
Yeah.
Because his performance, Joaquin's performance, is incredible.
Boy, laughing and turn off like a switch. I'm like,
Whoa,
what?
Yeah,
transformation. He did that.
The same thing that I liked about Heath's Joker, which was always the changing of the backstory, the explanation of the cuts. It was always methodical, and you never quite knew what his game plan was. This one is more sympathetic. That's why I like him.
God, where did he get the suit from? Because I was like, that suit was fresh. He ain't got no money because he lost his job.
Hold on.
Who paid for that?
I'm about to blow your mind. Why was the suit the same color as the psych ward uniforms? All right, y'all. We get ready to get up out of here. You know, head nurse in charge. This is King Kurt live.
Like, follow, subscribe, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch.
All that good stuff. We have a fan fest at Gamers Heaven this weekend. If you want to see us live and watch me roast Tef like I usually do in this comic book lore, because she don't read no comic books, y'all. She ain't about that life.
Kurt get roasted.
In anime, yeah. I suck at anime.
I would personally roast you.
You know, they still love the kid. Also, we'll be at J1Con live show with the Black Infinity Gauntlet. The ladies will doing another ladies' night. They're gonna be running the show on Saturday. They have their own show, and then we'll doing the live Head Nerds in Charge live show on Sunday. So listen, we got the Dolomite review coming out. We're gonna be also going over that kid Dion or little nigga Dion. What's his name? What's his name?
We are not gonna call him little.
What's his name? Somebody did it.
Raising Dion.
Look, Neon Dion. We gonna review that, and we gonna review what's the other John that I told you? Batwoman. Yo, that John was poop on a stick, bro. But that's a whole nother conversation. We got more content coming for you.
Please follow me and Sassy on Instagram and
Just
Facebook.
follow Sassy.
At yokai_sassy on Instagram, cosplay with yokai sassy on Facebook, and then you can follow me at Teffy Wonder on Instagram and Teffy Wonder the Mocha Mermaid on Facebook.
I look forward to seeing you on Saturday. Yay!
And show love to the ladies because they are super dope queens and they always come heavy with the topics. Teff's she gives her Wonder. What is it that you do? What is it called? Wait, come on, what's it called?
Her pole.
Yeah, what's it? Every day you call it
the
something.
Lone Wonder.
She be think I be trying to play her, and I'll be like, legitimately, thank you.
Because you do be trying to play me.
I do be trying to play you. All right, look, we getting up out of here. Head Nurse in Charge. Check us out Wednesdays, 8 to 10 p.m. right here in the box. Y'all know where to keep it locked for that black blurred hotness. Don, thank you on the wheels and steels of 1s and 2, the man to keep the stream going alive. And we appreciate Daddy Long Legs and the Inchworm coming through and gracing us. It's like me, familia. We appreciate our cousins, and we out.
Okay, bye. Hey, let's go to McDonald's. Come on, man. There you go, McDonald's.